risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you try my Colombian tamales? They're delicious.
Yes, but the Mexican tamales I brought are better.
Colombian tamales wrapped in plantain leaves are unmatched, you know.
But the Mexican tamales wrapped in corn husks are the authentic ones.
At least we can agree that they taste better with Pepsi.
Without a doubt. Can you pass me a straw?
You mean a pitillo.
Tamales deserve Pepsi.
No way. Gas prices shot up again.
I know, but I got us covered.
So generous. What's your deal?
What's my deal? I went to Metro and saved. Got 4 lines for just $25 each and 4 free new Samsung Galaxy A17 5G phones, and all on the T-Mobile network.
Ah, how about we go to Metro today?
Get that more for your money feeling. Visit your Metro by T-Mobile store. Just bring your numbers. Not available if you've been with Metro or T-Mobile in the past 180 days.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Is the volatility of the stock market driving you crazy? Is your retirement account sinking, yet you're getting older and you're starting to worry about, will I have enough for retirement? What about the money in the bank? These banks pay nothing these days. How do we get growth to get to retirement account? It's simple. Move into gold and silver. Want to know how to do it? Listen to my show, Striking Gold, with me, Kenny Michaels.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown, 411 16th Street, and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson. Online at SactownSports.com or on the app. Kings, Niners, and Sacramento. The Matt and Kayla Show starts now.
It's a Monday. Show hasn't even started yet. From the 916. Matt, shut up.
Sorry, dude.
The show hasn't even started. I didn't even do anything yet. No, I just, from the 916 says, Matt, shut up.
Oh my God.
That's the text line. It's Monday. I haven't said anything yet.
We can't be doing this on a Monday.
Well, apparently, here I am just trying to think of, hey, what's a good way to start a show on a Monday? Oh, Kayla went and saw the Michael Jackson movie. Let's talk about that. Nope. Just talk about it with Dave, I guess.
No. Wait a second.
Nuh-uh.
I didn't give even half the remarks I was going to give on our opening.
Oh, so I get the sloppy seconds?
No,
Great.
I kept the good stuff for us.
Oh, the good stuff.
Yeah. Also, I put something in Pick Aside that relates to the show.
Which?
That you just got really angry about.
I ain't a fan of it.
Well, let's save that.
I'm frustrated by it. Pre-frustrated. And I have kids. Or a kid.
I mean, I'm going to have to set the situation up and Pick Aside for you guys to understand it. But I understand me telling you and you not being there. You'd be like, wait, I'm not about this. So that's just a nice little tease.
Mustache Spider already checking in. Getting ready for the Fox, I won't say that word, Fest. 4 hours. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
You're damn right.
4 hours
Keep
of
that
Fox,
same energy, baby. Keep that same energy. Oh, De'Aaron Fox sucks. De'Aaron Fox he's not even Robin. Oh, he's terrible. Oh, he plays well. Crickets. Crickets everywhere. Y'all don't say nothing. We'll get to that later on in the show. Maybe that's what the 916 was talking about. Matt, shut up, because they knew it was coming.
Matt just wanted to just start the show
Listen,
off
I'm a
by
save
just preaching.
No, I'm going to save it all.
You're saving it for crosstalk with Alan and Whitey?
Oh, trust me, I'm waiting. I'm just going to lob it up to Alan, and he can say what he wants
Can't
to say.
wait for that.
But at noon we'll talk about the playoffs, the NBA playoffs, because we've got a ton of NFL draft to get to. So it's going to be draft heavy for the first couple hours of the show, of course. But at noon, you're damn right we're talking about Fox, and you're damn right we're talking about Mike Brown.
Absolutely.
Because Mike Brown just continues to get disrespected. I don't understand why. There's a report that came out about Sam Amick that just shout out Mike Brown for signing his multi-year deal in New York, because if they want to treat him like you know what, then they can treat him like you know what, but pay him.
Pay the man.
We'll get to all that at noon. But seriously, the Michael Jackson movie. I mean, I saw people like I didn't go and see it. I will see it eventually. I'm not the biggest fan. Well, I wouldn't say that.
You didn't really grow up with it, though.
Well, yes, I did. I grew up with. I listened to Michael all the time.
Later, Michael.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I was too young to like remember when he was touring, but I've listened to his music my entire life. So I'm a big Michael Jackson fan in terms of his music. Am I a Michael Jackson historian? Not really. Do I remember where I was? Oddly enough, I remember where I was when I found out that Michael passed away.
Oh, I do too.
Because I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong. I think this is when I found out. It was funny. I was in the car with my uncle, who was a Kings season ticket holder at the time. He's the reason why I'm obsessed with the Kings. He'd take me to games all the time when I was a kid. And that was during the glory days. And he was taking me to Arco Arena for a Kings draft party. And I'm pretty sure we heard on the radio while driving there that Michael had passed away. Like I remember that day being associated with learning that Michael was gone.
You always remember those big ones, like 9/11. I remember where I was with Michael Jackson. That was one of my, that was right when I broke into TV, like right out of college. Unfortunately, it's when the economy plummeted back in 2008, and I lost my job 3 months into my job. And I was working in retail until I found a job back in TV, and I was taking my break at Forever 21 in the mall, and I came out, and everyone was huddled around the TVs in the where you go eat the food. Yeah. What's that? The food court, and that's where I learned. So yeah, it was one of those things that you vividly remember.
See, celebrities passing does not massively affect me.
Yeah.
I remember Michael passing. I remember Robin Williams passing.
Yep.
I haven't had too many celebrities passing yet that I really, truly loved and cared for and invested in. When we start, I know we've lost like Harry Potter actors. That's like when we lost.
That's Matt's jam.
Well, kind of. It's more Lord of the Rings for me. Like when we lose Sir Ian McKellen, that's going to sting. Right. So it hasn't hit me yet, and knock on wood, it doesn't hit me, but I remember what Michael passing was to so many people and how much of a shock that was. I remember the same way with Robin Williams. Then we learned more about what happened with Robin. Yeah. We learned more about what happened with Michael. But you said you loved the movie. The movie was fantastic.
Man, there are so many, I guess, movies that kind of go out there and they try to replicate, like, you know, the life of whatever biopic, I guess is what you would call it, right? And it's hard sometimes to do. I said with Carmichael, Dave, and you in Crosstalk, it can seem a little cheesy sometimes, overdone. I don't know it. And in this situation, I guess I just wanted to see it in theater. My dad was still in town. We wanted to see it in theater together because I just love his music so much. And like I said, my mom listened to it when I was in her stomach. I'm not joking. And him and Whitney. So when I feel like some of the music she listened to, I popped out like loving that type of music. Yep. I know that sounds weird, but like I loved Whitney too. So I've always loved Michael's music, and obviously the story is very, very polarizing. And this is more so the story of how he became Michael to the point before everything else started to happen, right?
Right.
Michael kind of throughout his career, there's a lot that happened.
Yeah.
So this ends at I believe, the Bad album. So it doesn't, and I've heard they're going to do its second one. But this is just leading up to what Michael...
This is the rise of Michael.
It is, and why he was the way he was, like living in that Neverland kind of mindset always. Unfortunately, the depiction of his father, Joe Jackson, is very, very tough to watch. And you can understand why he maybe, is such a kind of a loner kid his whole life.
Yeah.
And why he focused so much on music. It's fascinating. And again, Jafar, his nephew, who had never acted before, this is his first role. He does all the dancing in it. It's just, the voice, everything. It's absolutely well done. And again, I'm going to go see it again.
That is an ambitious project.
Yeah.
Like that is you can't miss.
Yeah.
If you're doing that. There is no budget that's too high. There is no wrong casting. You can't miss on a story like that.
And that's why they only wanted to cast him, because they were like, it's going to be really hard to find someone who can really like portray, Michael and get into that character.
Have you seen the Michael Jackson Broadway show
No.
I haven't seen that. I've heard phenomenal things about that show.
Come here, I believe.
I think it's touring through Sacramento at some point.
I would like to go check that out too. Yeah, I've not seen a lot of Broadway shows in general.
You need to.
Yeah.
Going to New York, going to Broadway.
I've been to Fosse when I was in Chicago, which is a big, huge musical. I've been to that, which was pretty cool.
Russ Dog brought up a good one that I don't know why I even spaced on this. The first one that really hit me was Kobe's passing.
I remember where I was with
when
that.
Kobe passed, that was the first one. I was like, this hurts.
Remember exactly where I was.
Because these are people that you don't know them.
Yep.
Like I never got to cover Kobe. I grew up with Kobe, but I never got to cover Kobe at all. So his passing was pretty brutal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But to celebrate it, in all honesty, if you're a Michael Jackson music fan, you will love the music. You will feel at times when the performances come about, because they depict the bad or the Beat It video. They do the Thriller. The Thriller was incredible. I
saw the screenshots of his nephew, and it's like, it's quite literally the video. It looks just direct same.
Yeah,
that's why I love Bohemian Rhapsody, though. I know Chris doesn't like it, but Rami Malek.
Yes,
he
was really good.
To the muscle twitch.
He was good.
Got Freddie Mercury's Band-Aid performance, like.
That's how it is with
or
Jafar.
Live Aid. I'm sorry, not Band-Aid. Jeez, Live Aid performance, like to the T.
Yep.
And I was very interested to see if they would be able to do that with Michael.
Absolutely. He said he worked so hard in choreographing and getting the getting up on the toes and everything, even about how the outfits fit so that he could do the leg kicks.
Yeah.
And like he said he was like working so hard, like his toes were, like his feet were bleeding. Like, because imagine the dance moves that Michael did. Like, it's just like you can't even. It's hard to ever replicate that, and he did it. He definitely did.
A lot of people can replicate it, but not to the smoothness, not to the Michael. Because you can see a lot of people do like my partner at ABC 10, Kevin John. He's really good at the moonwalk, but Michael was gliding.
It's like flawless.
Right.
They also went through, which I was interested in too. They went through the whole thing with the animals, and like his monkey Bubbles is still alive to this day in a sanctuary. And Jafar, the nephew, goes and sees him, but they showcase why that really was why he had such love for animals and everything, and there's some funny parts to it. That family was, they were tight.
The Jackson 5?
Yeah, they were tight. The whole family.
It's fun to it was fun this weekend to drive past because there's a movie theater fairly close to my house and parking lot's just packed, and I'm like, I know why. I know everybody's going to see those. I didn't even try and go and see it. We'll go see it at some point. But yeah, I was very interested to get your thoughts on the movie.
I'm glad I saw it. And again, I've been listening to the album like every day here. So this is what I always do. Like when Bieber did Coachella, I listened to the album the whole entire week. Now I'm on the MJ album.
What's the next artist, or who's the next artist that needs a movie about him?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
Because it's typically artists that, I mean, not all the time, but typically it's artists that are no longer with us.
Yeah.
So there was the Elvis movie, there was Bohemian Rhapsody, there was, well, I mean, like Rocket Man. Elton John's still with us, which Rocket Man's a really good movie, by the way.
Eventually there'll be a Bieber.
Oh, for sure there will be a Bieber.
Yeah, but in like 30 years.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question because there's not anyone that I'm thinking top of mind that's like you said, just passed.
Again, Michael was the ambitious one. Michael, that's an ambitious freaking project. I'm glad they nailed it, or I'm glad you liked it, because there are going to be a lot of people that are going in there with you cannot ruin this.
Yeah.
You can't do this,
because if you're a Michael fan, in terms of his music, you're a Michael fan.
Yeah, a lot of people were excited about it, but I think there was, the biggest question I was going to ask you is, did it live up to the hype? Because as soon as you see a movie about Michael Jackson, you have sky-high expectations.
But you have to go in knowing this is not his whole life that it depicts. Like, again, I believe there is going to be a second part to the movie. It does not go past the bad album. So I guess if you're thinking it's going to be a whole thing of his life and what happened, towards the end, it's not that yet, at least, because again, this is the first half of it, I believe.
Well, were you able to fit everything in this weekend with the amount of stuff?
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, between the draft, which, by the way, sped by. I mean,
it did
even
go quick.
The third day of the draft, I mean, I couldn't believe it started at 10 and it was done by 2? I mean, it was incredible.
It was quick. They moved quick.
Yeah, and then all the playoff games. Yeah, I found myself, last night specifically, organizing my new place. Also, just having the games going and watching those as well. So
Lots
it was
of
a lot
TV
to
time.
juggle.
Lots of TV time. Well, let's get into some of this NFL draft stuff. We're going to start with the 49ers. Raiders fans, we'll get to the Raiders. Of course, I am a Raider fan too. We'll get to the Raiders coming up later in the show at 11 o'clock. Nick Wagner, good friend of ours, covers the Niners for ESPN. He will join us to break down what he thought from this draft. Kind of a controversial. I don't know if that's
I think that's fair.
A sharp enough word to use, or too sharp of a word to use when talking about this Niners draft. But they end up making 8 picks, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, eight picks after a multitude of trades. I think 5 trades in total, if I remember correctly, is what they did. I mean, listen, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan were wheeling and dealing, and they certainly took some swings. Let's go one pick at a time here. Let's start with their first pick, which was the first pick in the second round. You and I are both, I guess, happy that they didn't trade away that pick, that they made the selection. But the selection itself was a little surprising. Someone you're very familiar with as a former Coug. We're talking about Dazon Stribling, the wide receiver out of Ole Miss. Older prospect, the speed jumps off the table. Yak Daddy, which is a term that you love.
Not the Yak Daddy I necessarily was going for.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. So going Stribling over Boston. Mm-hmm. Like it, don't like it, surprised by it. What was the reaction to that?
It's kind of weird because I'm talking about a former Coug and a Husky. And so usually you would think that I would side with the former Coug.
Yep.
But in this case, Denzel Boston was my guy, I believe, from early pre-draft, homework that I did. He was mocked to several different teams, but clearly towards the end, it looked like there was a good chance he could go to the 49ers. I mean, it's a good, in terms of that pick, I wouldn't say it would have been extremely valuable because they did trade down twice and they were at the top of the second. I think he, though, went shortly after that. He didn't stay around for that long. I was confused. I'm not going to lie. They traded down 2 times out of the first round, and I'm thinking clearly in my head, they've got to just be targeting somebody specifically. And it truly looks like they were targeting Stribling here.
Yep.
And this could end up being great for them. And Stribling, really liked the guy. Watched him during his time at Washington State. He then went to Oklahoma State and then ended up with Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. He's played 4 seasons in college. So he's a little bit older of a prospect.
Yeah, that was kind of a theme for the Niners draft.
And I'll give some details on that in a second. So that also was like, okay, wait, Denzel Boston at least a year younger. I thought his value was better at that 33rd pick, whereas Stribling was a little confusing because I think you could have gotten him further down. But again, maybe they had intel that he was going to go, soon after that. Mm-hmm. So they had to take him. He is a big body athlete, fast for his size, strong ball skills, really good. Just a great mindset in terms of football. Like, loves the game, is going to do what it takes to get the job done. A downfield threat, which they could definitely use.
Ricky Pearsall was their only downfield
right.
threat.
And again, we don't know about his health.
Right.
So this guy is definitely, I think, a 2 or 3 in an offense. We'll see how that plays out. But I like the pick. Don't get me wrong. I like Stribling, the player, and I like the fit. The value was the question to me. Did you have to go get him at 33?
Well, so we are seeing more reports and at least conversations coming out now that he was high on a lot of teams' boards.
Yeah.
So, again, if you have a guy, if he's your guy,
sure,
then go out and take him. And the Niners had already traded down twice.
Yep.
And to me, the trading down is less about Stribling as much as it is acquiring more picks later on. And we'll talk about what they did with those more picks because people weren't necessarily thrilled with the middle rounds for the Niners either. But would it have made a big difference if they had traded down 4 spots, picked up a 5th rounder, and then taken him? Would it really have mattered that much to people? I mean, I think if they had traded down again, Niners fans would be going, when are you going to take a player? Just go and take your guy.
And that's a good point. And I think, we're not Kyle Shanahan. We're not John Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
And we can sit here and say, oh, the analyst said this or the analyst said that. Quite frankly, they don't care what the analysts say. They care what they think about a prospect.
They trust their analysts over Mel Kiper.
Exactly. And maybe their scouts, put Stribling higher on the board than Denzel Boston.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine and dandy. But in the long run, unfortunately, there's been some history with the drafting.
Yep.
And that's why I think it's fair to be critical of this draft class, because until you prove to us
100%.
that your guys are better and more valuable at that spot than these other guys that were available, then we have a topic to talk about.
Here goes Matt making it about the Kings a little bit, but what this reminded me of, now of course there's a vast history of more stability and success with the Niners than there is the Kings, but I just have a feeling with the Kings, whether it's going into this draft, it was last offseason, it's stop trying to do it a cute Kings way and start trying to do it more by the book. And I feel like some Niner fans feel that same way. Stop doing it the John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan draft way and draft by the book because you've missed a lot by doing it your way.
Yeah.
And at some point you need to hit.
Yeah.
So we'll see if this plays out.
Yeah.
But, I understand that frustration from fans.
And I think it is part of, I've said this so many times about Kyle Shanahan, heck of a coach. I don't know John Lynch as much in terms of his what he's like, but I know Shanahan is stubborn.
And he has a type.
And he has a type. And I think that can sometimes box you in a little bit. But I don't feel like John Lynch would be that way, but it is kind of now showcasing that they might be that way in terms of what they believe.
Well, in terms of Stribling, like we talked about, the speed jumps off the page, ran a 4.36 40-yard dash at the combine. He is that deep ball threat that we talked about. He is good running after the catch. However, according to scouts, he struggles creating space in short field situations, so he's not the best in like over the middle slant routes, 10 yards. He's better in
He's downfield.
going down the field.
Yeah.
So that's his strength. But he also is credited as being one of the best run blocker wide receivers in the draft. And I think that matters too, because I know Kyle Shanahan loves him wide receivers who will run block.
Yeah.
Run block.
You got to be able to, if you're a receiver now, that's got to be part of your game plan. At least the ones that fit in the 49ers system. So, he's a big body. Like he reminds me of, the way he's built like AJ. And kind of funny too, because, AJ came from Ole Miss as well. So.
Well, it took them a while, but they finally did go edge. They went with Romello Height with the 70th pick out of Texas Tech.
Yeah.
He had 10 sacks, 58 pressures for Texas Tech last season. Did battle injuries early in college, which I think people were a little concerned about. However, that was very early because his last 3 full seasons, he has played, and over those 3 full seasons, he tallied 22.5 sacks.
Yeah.
So you've got an edge rusher, some edge rushing depth, a project in the building. I think there's skepticism about how much of a day one contributor he's going to be, but it took them a while, but they eventually did get at least some edge prospects.
It's interesting. I'm going to pull up, there is a article that was done about these are the guys they took. Here's the guys that were available. And they took him with the 70th pick in the 3rd round. Here's another thing.
Which is one of the picks they acquired, correct?
Exactly. He's the oldest draft pick they took. He is 25 years old. 25 years old. He played 6 seasons in college. Other guys that were there at that point, there are a couple wide receivers. Obviously, they had already taken one. Malachi Fields. There was a safety, A.J. Hulsley, which, by the way, they did end up getting a safety that they signed. I'll have to look into, again, who that was. Wide receiver, Chris Brazell. There was a defensive tackle, Dom Orange. Like, there were other highly rated prospects at that point that they decided to skip over. Look, he could end up being somebody that fits in. He's, for an edge, pretty slender, but he has good, get-off movement. He's twitchy. So with the right defensive play caller, I think he could be like a designated pass rusher. So I don't see him as an every down guy that's setting the edge. I don't think he's made for that, but I think if you put him out there in certain situations, it's like a dog, like sack, like go get him, like go, that's what his job will be. Just go get the quarterback. Just that's what his best thing is. Not necessarily setting the edge, but just getting to the quarterback.
We're very familiar here in Sacramento, again, football to basketball time, but we're very familiar here in Sacramento with drafting older players. It's just been a common theme for the Sacramento Kings.
Telling you, man.
And the perk with that is older players, in theory, should be able to contribute earlier. They should be more, whether it's body, mind, development, whatever, they should be ready to contribute right away. And it does make sense if the Niners were targeting, with both Stribling, height, and some of the other older prospects that they got in this draft, if they were targeting guys that they might not be day one starters, but guys that, like you talked about, will have very specific roles right away for a team that's looking to obviously contribute right now with an older roster.
Right. So the plus of that is you're probably getting a more mature prospect, which I do believe the 49ers are huge on culture. They're huge on having guys come in and be ready, like you said, kind of more from the jump. The downside to this, in this situation that the Niners are currently in, they're already old. And when you go then and draft, the first 3 players average an age of 23.125 years old. The first 3 guys you took in this year's draft averaged 23 plus years.
Yeah.
That's a little difficult to comprehend, knowing that you're trying to look towards the future. You want guys that are going to be here for the long run. Not saying they're not going to, but like the youth part of it, they clearly do not care.
Yeah. And
that's kind of why we always find ourselves in this predicament with the Niners is like, well, they're trying to keep the core together at 30 years old. They're not a young kind of type of building team.
I'm interested to hear Nick Wagner's thoughts on this, because Nick and we talked with Nick at the end of the season about how much he thinks this draft is going to be about building stock for the future. And drafting these older prospects, to me, suggests 2 things, and they could both be true at the same time. 1, you're trying to get guys that can contribute to winning right away. And 2, when that eventual torch passing happens, there's not going to be a 1 or 2 year, okay, they're almost there. It's going to be, okay, in theory, Nick Bosa is going to naturally be able to pass the torch to Romello Height to be more. I have no idea if that's going to be the case, but it's clear because they know Purdy's going to be here for the long run, or at least they're paying him like he's going to be here for the long run. So they don't want to have 2 years of Brock Purdy 2 years from now, or even a year from now, be treading water to let these guys catch up. So I don't know. That makes sense to me. You have to still execute that. So we'll see if that plays out. We're going to hear from John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. We're also going to hear from Sean McVay a little bit in the next segment. Sean McVay was asked about John Lynch's reaction to the Ty Simpson pick. When he was asked about it, he kind of smirked a little bit, and Sean had a little bit of fun with that. We'll hear from a lot of different sound for you. Plus, we have to talk about some of these other players that the Niners drafted in the middle to later rounds of the draft. We are just getting started on a Monday. It's Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
The 49ers and Raiders have completed their 2026 draft classes. Did San Francisco answer its most pressing roster questions? Have the Silver and Black surrounded their new franchise guy with enough help in year one? Tune into Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com for up-to-the-minute NFL draft insight. Your local sports leader, Sactown Sports 1140.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Sacramento! Now you've got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
Monster Truck Madness storms into the Stockton Dirt Track with the most affordable family fun on May 9th. Tickets started at $15. Admission includes a bid party. Meet the drivers, touch the trucks, feel the power. And don't miss $10 Monster Truck ride and put you in the action. Save money now at StocktonDirtTrack.com.
There are many reasons to choose Gonzalez Law Offices as a dedicated trial lawyer with an undefeated record from 2016 through 2019, and you'll know that no case is too big or too small. Due to his success, hard work, and commitment to excellence, attorney Jonathan Gonzalez has been listed in Super Lawyers Rising Stars, as well as in the top 40 under 40 list by national trial lawyers. You can find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call him at 916-304-9187.
Attention Roseville residents, this just in. Keeping your vehicle well maintained doesn't just protect your car, it also protects your local waterways. This May, bring your used oil filter to a participating AutoZone location and receive a free new filter. Available every weekend in May. Recycle your used oil and filter the right way. For details and tips on proper oil and filter replacement, visit roseville.ca.us/oil. Funded in part by Cal Recycle. Limit 1 per customer. Maximum value is $9.99. Roseville residents only. Proof of residency is required at participating locations only.
Buying golf gear is easy. Buying the right golf gear, well, that's different. At Hagen Oaks, they don't just sell equipment, they fit your entire game. With TrackMan technology in the Player Performance Studio, your clubs are matched to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Fitting helps you find the golf ball that performs best for you. Hagen Oaks Putter Fitting Studio dials in your stroke, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds correct shoe size for your feet. It's a smarter way to play better golf. Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Still working our way through all of the draft picks for the Niners. Haven't even touched on the Raiders yet.
Oh, that draft was really good.
The Raiders draft?
Did you not see my note that
No,
I
saw your note.
favorites?
I know. So I'm not gonna lie to you. This might be wounded Raider fan syndrome. It is a bit spooky that everybody loves what the Raiders are doing.
Nah,
it's
I would
spooky.
tell you if I didn't.
It's spooky. No, I'm not saying you're lying to me. I'm just saying
Well,
when everybody everybody likes everything,
good things come around to those who wait.
Let's hope so.
At least I've been telling myself that since I was young.
We'll get to
wait for that to pay
that
off.
was so
but-
depressing.
Hey, I'm still waiting.
You're
Matt.
still waiting. We'll get into the Raiders draft a little bit later on. Again, Nick Wagner covers the Niners for ESPN. Good friend of ours. He will join us at 11 o'clock to break down the draft. But right now, let's hear from the guys that were making the calls. Here is John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan on reacting to being asked about like reaching in the draft. Now, you're going to hear the setup here. This is a question from Grant Cohn, who, if you're not familiar with Grant, he is notoriously how do I describe him? I don't know about. He's just he does not back down.
He doesn't care
from sharing his opinion.
There's always one of them in a market.
He's known for asking the tough questions, and sometimes it's really good to have those tough questions asked. I give Grant a ton of credit for asking this question.
Yep.
He's also not the most well-liked in
Has
that
he been
organization.
there for a while,
yes,
at least?
he's
Okay,
covered
good.
the Niners for a long time.
Well, as long as you've done it for a long time.
Yeah, he's not the most well-liked there. He does tend to lean more negative with almost everything.
It's our Paul Kaharski in Tennessee.
Sure, I don't know who that is, but it's Grant Cohn. But in this case, credit to him for asking a question that I think is very, very valid to ask.
Your draft board seems to deviate quite a bit from the consensus. Why are you confident with that, given your track record drafting the last few years? It seems like it leads to you making reaches.
Well, I appreciate that you think that. Depends whose consensus. We got consensus in this building. That's the consensus I care about.
So, and then I think Shanahan talked a little bit later on about it as well, and wasn't necessarily things pointed at Grant's question in particular, but very clearly the Niners are, whether you want to call it stubborn or confident in their process, they obviously trust and believe in the people that are making the decisions. And I came across this, Kyle. It's a couple links down, so I'm not necessarily going in order here. But a few 49er scouts were up and answered questions from the media, and I love this. I think this is great.
In January, we'll go back.
What? Oh, sorry.
In January, we'll go.
Well, so here are the 49er scouts being asked about their draft misses over the years and how they evaluate players. You're going to hear from Tariq Ahmad and Josh Williams.
In January, we'll go back and watch the previous year's class, or the previous 2 years' classes, and evaluate what went right, what went wrong when we watch all the guys around the league, on top of what we do each week preparing for opponents. So that is something that we do a lot of self-scout of a personnel staff as well. And so that hopefully leads us to make better picks and better decisions.
Yeah, I would say internally we review it every year and talk about it all throughout the whole process, and why we might have hit on a guy, why we might have missed on a guy, why maybe it's still undecided on a guy.
Yeah, and probably the cool thing about it is, we assess it based on our board and our standards. So we don't really care as much about what the mocks say, because the mocks don't necessarily talk about the 4th, 5th, 6th round players, the George Kittles, the Dre Greenlaws, those type of players that we valued in the building, But there's opportunity day 3 especially, where we could find players and then assess where we are with that part of the process, whether we've done well and whether we can do better at all parts of the board. So we're excited always to kind of go through that together. It helps us grow, and it helps us grow as a team.
So here's the thing.
I don't know about that.
There are mock drafters out there that are brilliant, that have made careers and make a ton of money from some of these major publications that are legitimate scouts. Like they know the game. They just don't do it for a team.
Yeah.
In theory, the best scouts on the planet should be working for teams and not be working for ESPN or Yahoo or any of these other sites. So in theory, I respect that the 49ers and their scouts, they clearly have the types of players that they want. They also are the ones that are having the conversations with these prospects behind closed doors that maybe mock drafters aren't always privy to, although mock drafters, especially the high-end mock drafters, do have relationships with players and scouts as well. So I appreciate that the Niners have their type, or the Niners have their guys in the room and their consensus over a mock drafter's consensus. I understand that 100%. The thing is, though, you can't be wrong more than you're right. And it at least recently, the Niners have missed a lot, especially when it comes to like the middle rounds, especially when it comes to the running back position at the middle rounds, which once again, with the 90th overall pick in the third round, the Niners took a major swing on Kalon Black, running back out of Indiana, and he was mocked to go hundreds, over 100 or if not more picks later by a lot of mock drafters. So I'm good with the Niners having their belief. I'm good with trusting, or I want to be able to fully trust them as the NFL caliber scouts. But the track record doesn't give you a lot of optimism, and Niner fans who are skeptical based off of that are completely justified.
I mean, you guys say it all the time here in Kingsland. I mean, you guys say we don't trust it until it changes. Well, it's the same for the 49ers, but football in a different way. This is talking about drafting and unsuccessful, particularly like third-round drafts, how they haven't not necessarily been successful with running backs in the past, and allowing those running backs to hit. So with this situation where they took in the 90th, with the 90th overall pick, they took Black out of Indiana. Again, this is a player that is 24 years old who has played 6 seasons in college football. This is a running back who played 6 seasons at JMU before he transferred to Indiana. Running backs are a different type of thing when it comes to taking a running back with tread. Because if you're going to take a running back who's 24 years old, who played 6 seasons in college, how much tread is on the freaking tires by the time you allow him to be a starter? By the way, CMC is not retiring this year.
Right.
Or maybe even next year. So by the time you get to this kid, he's going to be 26 years old and maybe then just beginning to start for you. And then, oh, by the way, when he was at JMU, he was okay in terms of pass catching. He completely was not utilized as a pass catcher. I think he had 4 catches his last year at Indiana. If you are in Kyle Shanahan's system as a running back, you are a pass catcher / running back. And this guy has none of that. So, again, guys, really quickly, that they have not fared well in terms of running backs. Joe Williams in 2017, Trey Sermon, and Ty Davis that were picked in 2021 and 2022. These are all guys that really they've not utilized as running backs. And then here we go with another one who I'm questioning.
See, this draft suggests to me that the Niners were looking to plug very specific situational holes. Because from what I understand, again, reading scouts and breakdowns of Black, what I understand about him is he's not a quick, elusive, can break out big plays if he gets around the corner or in the backfield. He is A-gap, big power back. He's the guy that in a couple years, you get 1st and goal on the 2 in theory, and all right, McCaffrey, we don't want to get you killed. Black, come in, get this, punch this in. Or it's 3rd down and 1 in the middle of the field.
But again, is that value at 90? I don't feel like that's very good value.
I don't know. But time will tell, right?
And they've got a crowded room.
That's why it's a questionable swing for them. They had a very specific type. This is one of those, though, where it's like, why did you think you had to get him here? Where did you think he was going to go? Because I have not seen anything that suggested that anybody else really thought about him in this range. But again, if you want to go get your guy, go get your guy. You just have to be right.
But you got to be right, and eventually, maybe this is the year where their scouts hit it, and Lynch and them, they get it right. And not everyone's going to work out. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying the value picks in terms of what you should be getting value for in those 2nd and 3rd rounds. I talk about it all the time. It's where you can really find some really good picks. And because they traded down twice and felt confident that they were doing the right thing, like they better hit at least 2 of these guys.
Here's more, or we're going to hear more from John Lynch later on in the show because he talks about not drafting a safety, on adding to the defensive fronts. We'll get to that at some point later in the show. I do want to squeeze this in really quickly, though, because it's a little bit off topic, but it's kind of fun. We talked a lot on Friday about Sean McVay's reaction to drafting Ty Simpson and how it didn't look great. The body language, certainly he didn't seem thrilled about it, and I imagine he had to do a little bit of damage control. Well, Sean McVay was asked in an interview by, I think it was on NFL TV, was asked about John Lynch smirking when after night one, somebody asked John Lynch about the selection of Ty Simpson, and John just has kind of a smirk on his face and then proceeds to give kind of the cookie cutter, good player, good prospect, blah, 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 blah type answer. Well, naturally, we know they're friends, but two, the rivalry between the Rams and the Niners in the NFC West. Well, here's Sean McVay's response to John Lynch smirking about the Ty Simpson pick.
Lynch and Shanahan just had their first round. They're sitting down to talk about it. Their butts hadn't even hit the seat yet when they're getting asked about your pick, number 13. And the second the topic comes up, Lynch, he gets this big crap-eating grin on his face. He's smiling. He's looking down. What do you make of that? Because the internet's on fire with it.
You know what? I love John. I'd be interested to see what's he smirking at there. What'd you take away from that?
I think he's really happy that you drafted a guy he won't have to play this year. That's my take, Sean.
Yeah, well, hey, I got a lot of respect for Lynchy. I can't wait to be able to see him and see if he was smirking at us.
So just adding to the rivalry a little bit.
That's
Love that.
pretty funny. By the way, his voice could be who's the comedian we had on?
Frank Caliendo.
Frank can do Sean's voice flawlessly.
Oh, easily.
He's so easy to do.
Easily. He's got a touch of Gruden in there too. We'll take the break. When we come back, it's Q&K with Kayla Anderson. Kayla's got a free agency related question for us in the NFL draft. We'll hear that next. And then Nick Wagner from ESPN covers the 49ers, joins us at 11 o'clock. It's Matt Kayla on Sactown Sports.
Is the crew on their way so we can fire up the grill?
Cabrito, arrachera. They're gonna love it.
Better go with birria and carne en su jugo. Classic Jalisco dishes with tradition.
That seasoning is great, but northern Mexican-style meat speaks for itself. Let's make both.
Deal. And to boost the flavor, ice-cold Pepsi. Its sweetness pairs perfectly.
And to go with it, flour tortillas.
And corn ones too. Hey, carne asada deserves Pepsi.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Naturewood Home Furnishings, Metro by T-Mobile, and A1 Appliance. More info at CITPFest.com.
Whoa. Okay, this one says you get a free phone if you switch. Hey, this one also says you get a free phone if you switch.
Yeah, they all do, hon.
Wait. The T-Mobile one says families saved over $3,700 versus the other big guys in the past 5 years. And their experience plans have Netflix included, plus a year of Dash Pass by DoorDash.
Hang on, let me see that. And a 5-year price guarantee? Oh yeah, we're switching.
That's what I'm talking about. Do we clap now, or...?
I'm thinking high-five.
At T-Mobile, get savings that keep stacking up. That's value you can feel every day. Switch now at T-Mobile.
Savings based on Harris X billing snapshots from Q3 2021 to Q4 2025 among accounts with 3+ voice lines compared to AT&T and Verizon, excluding discounts, credits, and optional charges. See harrisx.com/T-Mobile. Price guarantee on talk, text, and data. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com.
This is the sound of Jack buzz cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack, every time he cuts his own hair, that's $50 right in his pocket. If Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy, Wells Fargo is right behind him. And with their mobile app, tracking his savings is easy.
Oh, ouch.
However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown, 411 16th Street, and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's time for Q&K. Kayla's got questions. We've got answers. It's Q&K on Matt and Kayla.
All right, Kayla, what do you got for us on this post-NFL Draft Monday?
Yeah, I thought I would keep it somewhat related to the topic at hand right now, because we're going to be talking NBA playoffs a little later in the show. At noon, we'll be getting into that. But I thought we'd keep it somewhat on topic. So there is a list that was made. Of course, we thank X for this with some of these things in terms of giving us some content.
Yep.
And I thought this would be a fun question for you guys to pick and choose. And of course, if you're in the YouTube chat, you can play along. Who in each category is the best free agent currently available in the NFL? Let's start with the quarterback, shall we? For your picks, in terms of what you can pick from, we have Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, who, by the way, will be in Pick-A-Side later, and Tyrod Taylor.
I mean, to me, it's easy. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
I think it's pretty landslide easy because it's Aaron Rodgers in terms of just the overall talent.
Right.
So in terms of best free agent there, yeah, it's Aaron. Aaron's the one out of those three that I'm like, yeah, he's for sure a starter if he comes back.
Yeah.
That being said, there's more to Aaron than just what happens on the field and all that stuff. But that doesn't outweigh how much better Aaron Rodgers is as a quarterback right now, even how old he is, than Russell Wilson and especially Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Aaron Rodgers for me.
Kyle?
Yeah, I would go with probably Aaron Rodgers. Also, hi, everybody. I'm back.
Oh, yeah, Kyle's back.
Kyle, welcome back. We haven't even got to that part yet.
Yeah, Kyle is back
is
from vacation. He decided to actually show up to work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you have a good vacay?
I did, yeah. You know what? I did. It's the off season now for everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Get some rest?
yeah, a little bit. Not perfect, but enough.
Never is, right?
Sure. Yeah, it's Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers is the only one on there that's like an actual starting quarterback. I don't know if you guys saw Mike Tomlin's interview he did. And he was like, yeah, if you had to press me on it, I think Aaron's going to be the quarterback of the Steelers next year. So even though I think they drafted a quarterback and still have Mason Rudolph, and have a new coach and a new offensive coordinator, it seems like they're going to run it back with Aaron Rodgers. So I don't think he'll be a free agent long.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin, who officially is joining Sunday Night Football, he did a little thing with Maria Taylor before, or at halftime or before one of the games yesterday for the NBA playoffs. So interested to see that as well. Okay, from the running backs list, guys, we've got Joe Mixon, who was hurt last year for the Houston Texans. He is, I believe, to be healthy now. Najee Harris, Austin Eckler, Nick Chubb, and Kareem Hunt. A lot of guys that have done stuff in their careers, but have kind of, I'm not going to say are washed out, but have had injuries,
Definitely
right? Older. And you know, running backs, like, the workload becomes something eventually.
I want to go... God, I don't feel good about any of these guys. I guess I'll go... Nick Chubb is injury-riddled past. I mean, at least he can be a power back at this point. I'll go Joe Mixon, I guess. Yeah, Joe Mixon,
That's what
probably.
I was going to say.
I don't want any of these guys, though.
That's a pretty bad list.
I mean, there's some big names from
5
years, 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah, it's a sign of just how bad the running back position. By the way, like, Austin Eckler, man,
dude,
he had like the worst year ever because he like didn't get a contract, was like trying to unionize the running backs within the union. That was a crazy thing. And then he like got punched right before a game against the Raiders on national TV. Then got hurt. Like just an awful year for Austin Eckler. But I'm gonna probably say Kareem Hunt because he was like the only one who kind of contributed last year for Kansas City. But
not a great list to pick from.
Najee Harris, I can't believe his career's gone the way he has. I thought he was gonna be amazing.
Former Alabama running back.
Yeah.
Wide receivers now. Let's turn to this because you talk about some guys that might
some huge names on here
retire, but are huge names. Okay, we got Tyreek Hill, who is coming off of an injury.
Yep.
Stephon Diggs, who honestly contributed well in terms of what he did for New England last year.
Yep.
Deebo Samuel, we all know Deebo and his story.
Debo.
Jawan Jennings, who was asking for $20+ million when he went to the free agents market this past offseason and still has not found a home. Keenan Allen and Brandon Cooks. I believe this is somewhat easy, but the price has to be right.
For the sake of my fantasy team, I want to go Keenan Allen because he's been the GOAT for me in fantasy so often. But yeah, most of these guys are over the hill. Juwan Jennings is not.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like Juwan, on the right price point, I think Juwan Jennings is a very valuable
Same here.
wide receiver 2. Maybe even wide receiver 1 in the right circumstance, although I question how far you can go with Juwan Jennings as your wide receiver 1. Certainly nobody's lining up to pay him $20+ million, obviously, but if you can bring him in the low teens, I've been saying the Raiders should consider doing it. So Juwan Jennings is absolutely, like, he sticks out of this list like a sore thumb.
I think so too. Kyle?
I mean, future Hall of Famer Tyreek Hill being a free agent is crazy, but I understand that it's because of the torn ACL.
Yeah.
I'm going to say probably Stephon Diggs, because Stephon Diggs was a 1,000-yard receiver on a team that went to the Super Bowl last year. Now, the Patriots decided that the problem was that they didn't have enough good wide receivers, but I still feel like
still maybe help out a team, right?
I mean, I don't think he should be totally unsigned. He's not completely over the hill. He had 1,000 yards last year.
All right. How about the tight ends? I actually know my answer real quick on this one. So, spent pretty much his entire career with the Cleveland Browns, and I thought had a great career. David Njoku, Jonnu Smith. That's one of my favorite people in the world, by the way. Just has not been productive or used correctly. Darren Waller, love Darren Waller, but needs to retire. He came back last year.
Yep, he tried it.
He tried it, and then Taysom Hill.
I mean, I love Darren Waller for his very short but productive time as a Las Vegas Raider. Another 4 guys that I don't really want.
I think David Njoku could still contribute to a team.
I mean, probably, but as I have a little bit of a sour spot towards him, but it's
for what?
Strictly fantasy related.
What? Oh,
Every time I need to rely on the dude because I either didn't draft a tight end or my tight end is either out or on his bye week or whatever.
Yeah, he's not helped you out.
David always seems like he's the guy at the top of the waiver wire. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go get David. Then he catches 1 pass for 3 yards. And I'm like, great.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. So that's a very selfish way. I want to say Darren just for the hell of it, but you're right. He's over the hill. I guess I'll go David.
Okay.
Is Jonnu Smith unsigned only because Arthur Smith isn't in the league anymore? Because I don't know if you guys know this. So Jonnu Smith was Arthur Smith's tight end with the Titans.
Crap about Jonnu.
This is complimentary. All I'm pointing out is Jonnu Smith was Arthur Smith's tight end on the Titans. Arthur Smith got the Falcons head coaching job. His first free agent signing was to sign Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, because
then
he knew him.
When he got fired, he went to the Steelers, and the Steelers traded for Jonnu Smith. So it's like Arthur Smith can only play with Jonnu Smith, but I think he's now.
Is Arthur not coaching at all?
He's now the offensive coordinator at Ohio State.
That's right.
Which tells me the reason Jonnu hasn't been signed is that Arthur Smith is trying to find him an extra year of eligibility.
That's really funny. Hey, maybe he goes and coaches with Arthur up at Ohio State. Jonnu's
all I'm saying is Arthur Smith has extended Jonnu Smith's career by 5 years.
To be fair, though, he in the year that he was in Tennessee before he got released or whatever, he actually was really good for them.
Yeah, which is why Arthur Smith drags him along to every coaching stop he's ever been. Yeah. But I'm going to go with Taysom Hill. Because Taysom Hill can play every position.
Oh, geez. All right.
He's a quarterback.
I'm over him. Okay, finally, offensive line. Taylor Decker, I'm a little shocked he hasn't been signed yet.
That's my pick already, I can tell you.
Joel, is it Bitonio? Bitonio, excuse me. Mekhi Becton and Jonah Williams.
I mean, it's Taylor Decker for me.
I'm
surprised. Career Lion. I know he asked for his release or something like that, right? He's going to find a team. I know he's 32?
Yeah,
33?
but look at the left tackle for the 49ers.
Well, that's true, but that's
38.
One of the best in the game and future GOAT or
Taylor
future Hall
Decker's
of Famer.
Pretty good.
Yeah. He's
pretty good. He's had some injuries.
Yeah, I think Taylor Decker's going to find a team. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Now that the draft is all figured out, he'll be on a team.
See where some of them land.
Yeah, it's Taylor Decker.
Isn't Joel Bitonio he might be a Hall of Famer? Like, I know he's really, like, old and injured now, but, like, he's low-key had a Hall of Fame career, so I'd probably go with him. Also, shout out Folsom High School, Jonah Williams.
Jonah Williams is Folsom?
Yeah, he was Jake Browning's left tackle.
That's
You're
right.
kidding me.
That's right. I forgot about
That's
that.
wild. So he's not super old.
No, I mean, he's 30, but he looked capital W washed last year on the Cardinals.
Yeah. Too much Titans talk on here? We haven't talked once about that.
Stop
Smith,
talking about the Titans.
Oh, I guess I said
Stop
yeah.
it.
Jonnu Smith was our
Stop
Titans talk.
Stop it. No more Titans, Kayla.
I know.
This is Niner country.
God forbid.
So meaning we're going to talk about the Raiders at some point. But that's after we talk to Nick Wagner from ESPN. He covers the Niners for ESPN. Good friend of the show. Nice enough to join us to break down what the Niners did and didn't do in their controversial NFL draft weekend. Nick Wagner joins us next to start the second hour of the show. It's Monday on Matt and Kayla here at Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99 now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Support comes from Amazon Business. You can't rely on guesswork to run your business. With Smart Business Buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Empower your team today. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
No way. Gas prices shot up again.
I know, but I got us covered.
So generous. What's your deal?
What's my deal? I went to Metro and saved. Got 4 lines for just $25 each and 4 free new Samsung Galaxy A17 5G phones, and all on the T-Mobile network.
Ah, how about we go to Metro today?
Get that more for your money feeling. Visit your Metro by T-Mobile store. Just bring your numbers. Not available if you've been with Metro or T-Mobile in the past 180 days.
If you're serious about getting better at golf, start with the fit. At Hagen Oaks, everything begins with Total Game Fitting. The TrackMan Player Performance Studio analyzes your swing to match you with the right clubs. Ping's Ballnamic Fitting helps you find the golf ball for your game. The Hagen Oaks Putter Fitting Studio helps you roll it true. And with FootJoy's 3D foot scanner, you'll walk the course in shoes that actually fit. From driver to putter and even what's on your feet, Hagen Oaks fits every part of your game. total game fitting. Only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140. It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
Apparently, people are saying we need to be more angry about the Niner draft. They're so stupid. What are they doing, huh?
Is that what the text line say?
I don't know. Just different people weighing in, just like Niners.
It's a manic Monday.
Just another manic Monday. Yeah, that's what we're doing here.
Exactly.
We're freaking out about the Niners draft because they had the audacity to do what they think is best. Well, they do have to prove that it was the right thing to do. And someone who's paid hopefully a lot more money than I'm paid to know what the heck the 49ers are doing is our good friend who joins us again here on the Matt and Kayla Show. It's Nick Wagner from ESPN. Nick, you made it through the draft. It was all over the place, trades galore. I don't know how confused you were, how much your head hurt by the end of it, but what did you make of the 2026 NFL draft for the San Francisco 49ers?
Well, yeah, now we're at the hardest part, which is avoiding all of the draft grades, because that's one of my least favorite things in the whole sporting industry, actually, is the draft grades. I get why people like them and consume them, but not my favorite thing. But my takeaway from the 49ers draft was a lot of the same of what they've done, and I get why people might take issue with the approach, given that the last few years hasn't yielded a lot of great results. And I felt like this year they had an opportunity, just based on where they were drafting and kind of the way the board was falling, to maybe shift philosophically a little bit in the sense of straying from the premium positions that they always prioritize in the name of getting more immediate help and starters at positions like guard or safety, for example. And they chose not to do that. And so I think in that regard, if you're looking at process, which I think is the only thing that we can look at right now because you have years of history, I think there are fair questions to be asked. But as for like the particular players, I'm not going to be the one to sit here and tell you whether that player is going to work out or not, because I have no idea. And frankly, nobody does.
So we'll put you down for like a B- then. How about that? That sound good?
Put me down for an NA.
NA.
No, it is. It's the draft grades definitely get nauseating when it comes to it. You've got to just see what happens. But in terms of seeing what happened in the draft, traded down not once but 2 times, and obviously had that first pick of the second round. Did it surprise you, Nick, in terms of going with the wide receiver is one thing, going with Stribling maybe over a guy like Boston? Did you see a surprise in terms of who they picked at that spot?
Yeah, a little bit. And I would say just in the sense of like, we make so much of like pre-draft visits and how much teams are talking to guys, and people on the internet track all that stuff. And I think too much is made of that, because it could be a couple of things, right? Like, one, they're visiting with a guy because they really do have interest. Sometimes they're visiting with a guy because they're not sure if they have interest and they want to answer a character question, or they want to answer an injury question or that. And sometimes they're also visiting with guys to throw people off because they want that information out there. So you never really know exactly what to make of it, but just that the receivers that the Niners had been connected to, and that a lot of people saw them eyeing, and Casey Concepcion and Denzel Boston, who you mentioned, and Omar Cooper. When 2 of those 3 guys were there at 27, I thought, okay, they're going to trade back to 30 here, and they probably could still get at least one of them. And as it turned out, 2 of them were still available at 30, and they still traded back. And so you just kind of had a feeling that something was changing there. So it was a little bit surprising, but I will also say this. John Lynch gave us pretty strong hints last week about how they felt about this draft class, not only in the first round, but as a whole. And when he starts talking about how few guys had a first round grade, and he said it was less than 20, my understanding is it's closer to 15 than 20. That tells you the chances of them actually drafting a guy at 27 who has a first round grade was going to be very low. So the idea of them moving down always made the most sense to me. It was just a matter of whether there are going to be teams willing to move up with them. And of course they found too, they probably got a little less in trade value than what the charts say and all that stuff. But I think in their mind it was, let's move down, get some extra draft capital, and still we're going to be drafting a second round graded player, but we're going to actually do it in the second round rather than the first.
Nick Wagner, 49ers reporter for ESPN, joining us. Nick, Kyle Shanahan also alluded to there were some guys that we had our eyes on at 27 if they fell to us, but if they didn't, we were going to go in this direction. Everybody's been trying to look and guess who that last guy was that they were hoping would fall to 27. I've always had my eye on Malachi Lawrence, edge rusher for UCF, went 23rd to the Dallas Cowboys. Do you have any idea or any hypothesis or who you think that last guy was, or some of those guys were that realistically could have fallen to 27 that the Niners would have taken rather than move back?
Yeah, so let me just give you a little context here. After, I mentioned a minute ago what John Lynch said last week about the number of guys that they had a first-round grade on, and he didn't want to give the exact number. He usually does, but I think, again, that was kind of an indication that it wasn't very many, that he didn't want to share it.
Yeah.
And so I asked, on the first night of the draft, I asked John Lynch, I said, hey, I know you didn't want to give the number, but can you give us an idea of where it ran out, where it ran out before you guys drafted? And he kind of said, well, there were guys with first-round grades, but there were also some guys that maybe didn't fall into that first-round grade category who they would have still taken at 27 if they'd fallen. And then Kyle Shanahan piped in and said, and he threw out the number 22 as kind of, and he said he used it as a hypothetical, but it could be one of those things where there's truth in that hypothetical, right? It wasn't 22 exactly, but 22 is where the Los Angeles Chargers took Akeem Mesidor, the pass rusher for Miami. And to me, that was the guy that would have made a lot of sense for them. And then if you look at kind of who they drafted, some of these older guys, Mesidor was an older guy. We know they like edge rushers. To me, that was the name that maybe jumped out of that might have been the cutoff for them. Some people would tell you that it was Casey Concepcion. I don't think it was the safety from Oregon. I know people talked about him as well. But for me, again, this is just an educated guess.
Yeah.
I think right around Mesidor. And you mentioned Lawrence, who actually went in front of Mesidor. So that's possible too. But in terms of where it ran out, 22 is the number that to me makes the most sense.
Nick Wagner covers the 49ers for ESPN. Nick, when it comes to just the type of players they look for, it seems like they want guys that are kind of ready to come in and be able to play right away. Maturity maybe part of it as well. When you look at these first three picks of theirs, they average 24 years old. And I'm just wondering, is this a thing that is a Shanahan and Lynch thing? Is this truly they go for these older players when it comes to drafting? Can you maybe break down your philosophy on what you've seen from that?
Yeah, I think a lot of this now is just kind of the way of the world in the NIL era too, right? So you're getting more guys who are staying in college because it's better for their pocketbooks to play a fourth or fifth year of college football than it is to go to the draft and be a fourth round pick or a third round pick, even a second round pick in some cases, right? So I think that's kind of part and parcel, and maybe why you're seeing it not just in San Francisco but in other places. To your other point within that question, and I know Matt could probably relate to this as someone who follows the NBA so closely, but I always look at the NBA draft and I say you look at the top of the draft and you're hoping that there's going to be 4 or 5 potential all-stars, guys who check every box, right? And then after that, you're drafting for a specific skill, right? Whether it's a 3-and-D guy, it's a rim protector, it's a rim runner, all that stuff, right? And I think what this draft looked like to me was the 49ers looked at the draft as a whole. They said, we're not high enough to get one of those potential star guys who checks every box. How can we fill very specific needs? And in a lot of cases, I think that what you're seeing, Kayla, when you tie that together is guys who are a little bit older, but who have a refined skill and trait that they can fit that role. So just using an example, Romello Height, they took in the third round, number 70 overall. They needed a Bryce Huff replacement. They're also switching to a Raheem Morris defense in which you're going to have guys who are sort of fifth pass rushers. They're not necessarily defensive linemen or linebackers, but they're kind of in between tweeners. Well, Romello Height fills that role. He's a little bit smaller than your average edge rusher, but you can move him around and then use him in different ways. So I think that's really more where this kind of comes in, where you kind of tie all that in a bow and say this is what they were looking for, while also still kind of planning for the future, right? Especially with Stribling, he may not have a starting role right away, but you can see what the vision is for him and have him come in and contribute, help take the top off of a defense with his speed, but also be a guy who eventually steps into what they hope is a number 1 or 2 type of receiver role.
See, this is why we love Nick Wagner on this show. The dude knows ball, and he knows, hey, let me dumb it down to NBA terms so Matt George can keep up with what I'm saying. This is why we love Nick Wagner.
Well, Matt, that's a good thing we don't get into salary cap discussions, because you start talking about aprons and stuff, that's where you're going to lose me. So,
you just say it with confidence, because no one knows what the hell's going on. But if you say it confidently and like you know what it's like to juggle millions upon millions of dollars, well, maybe you can get it past the skeptics.
That's right. It's like when you go talk to your IT guy at work and you have no idea what the problem is, and you just start mumbling buzzwords like USB port, and they know what they're talking about.
Floppy disk. You lose them at floppy disk typically.
Exactly.
Well, listen to this segue, Nick. A lot of the Niners fans were lost with the decision for Kaylon Black, running back out of Indiana, with the 90th overall pick. It was their second, third round pick that they made. And I know, reading your write-up, you talked about it too. This was a perplexing pick. This is a 49ers swing, and you listed like all the middle round swings that the Niners have made recently at the running back position. It's just been whiff, 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 whiff. Yeah. Well, here comes another one. Why should anybody hope that this is going to be different, or believe that this is going to be different with the Niners seemingly following this pattern?
Yeah, Matt, it's to be very clear, this is in no way a knock on the player. Like I said at the top of this, I have no idea if these guys are going to work out, and he's fun to watch. When you turn on his tape, he runs really hard. You can see the fit, all of that stuff. This is a process question for me. And I know Kyle Shanahan was asked about, do you even think about the history of the misses that you've had at that position in the middle rounds when you make this pick? And he says, no, we just hope that it works out better. To me, it wouldn't be as big a deal, but for the fact that not only do they have the misses in these middle rounds at that position, they have the successes later on that have helped cancel out those misses in the middle. And so, you can go up and down the list. Joe Williams, who they took in the 4th round early in the Shanahan and Lynch tenure, was outplayed by Matt Breida, who was a pretty solid NFL running back for a while, who was an undrafted free agent. Tyrion Davis-Price, Trey Sermon, also had other guys, whether it was Raheem Mostert, who was already in place, or, Jordan Mason, who they brought in as an undrafted free agent and turned out pretty good, or Elijah Mitchell, who they took the same year as Trey Sermon a few rounds later. So that to me is like, I understand the thinking, and they like adding running backs, and they, it's not just lip service in terms of like they want to take some of the load off of Christian McCaffrey. I get that. It's to me just about like, hey, you have some other things here that you need. Why not wait a little bit? And maybe this guy does fall to them. Maybe he doesn't, but trust your ability to identify these guys who fit into your scheme and have success, because they have as much as they have the track record of missing on the middle round running backs, they also have the track record of having success with the late round or undrafted running backs. And so that for me is kind of more of where the issue lies, of like, hey, like, it's not just the misses, it's also the successes. Why not just lean into the fact that you have this ability to find guys who fit later on, and then use that 3rd round pick, which is valuable draft capital at a position like a safety or an offensive line or whatever that might be a little bit more pressing of a need.
ESPN NFL reporter for the 49ers, Nick Wagner, joining us on the Matt and Kayla Show this morning. Okay, so we talked about some of the trades that happened with the Niners. Specifically, this one, interested to see what you thought about it. Obviously, trading linebacker D. Winters to the Cowboys, and they got that 5th rounder, 152nd overall pick for that. What did you think about the trade? Did you see that coming at all, Nick?
I did. He was a guy that I had kind of circled as like, if they're going to trade a player and try to get a pick, that this could be someone. That the question that I had about it was more so not necessarily that they don't have the bodies, because they do have the bodies, right? Yeah. Dre Greenlaw is going to step back into that weak side linebacker spot. We know that. But the question with him is, can he stay healthy? And that has been a thing, an answer that has been negative, for a while now. So counting on him to start 17 games is probably a bit of a fool's errand. Behind him, though, you still have Tatum Bethune. You still have Garrett Wallow. You had a 3rd round pick that you used on Nick Martin last year. So you're kind of creating some more questions in terms of your depth at the position. But they also feel like they can continue to develop those guys. I think they also have a lot of belief in KJ Wright, their linebackers coach who they promoted, who Robert Saleh really wanted to take to Tennessee. That was not an option for them because the Niners believe in him and his future. So it's a little bit of a bet on him to continue developing these guys as well. And then you saw them use a draft pick, of course, in Jaden Duggar out of Louisiana in the 5th round, another guy that they can throw into that pot and kind of develop him. But at the end of the day, the D. Winters decision, this is a guy they probably were not going to pay. He's a free agent after this year. And so to get back a 5th-round pick, I think he was a 6th-round pick when they drafted him, that's pretty good business if you're not going to re-sign the guy anymore.
Yeah.
Nick, you talked about this a little bit already when you were talking about the Kaelon Black draft pick and just the Niners process and kind of their history. But that was a major topic of conversation, at least on social media. Of course, Grant Cohn's question to John Lynch specifically about going against the consensus, and John was very clear about, well, our guys in our building, we have our own consensus, right? We have our own scouts in this building that we trust our guys and what we think over what mock drafters might think specifically. But of course, that sparked a lot of reaction amongst 49ers fans, and there does seem to be, I don't know if mistrust, that might be too heavy, or distrust might be too heavy of a term to use, but there's definitely a skepticism amongst the fan base about the Niners going their way versus the consensus way. Is that fair or unfair in your mind? Like, where do you fall kind of on that teeter-totter of the smartest guys should be the guys in your building, not the guys on these publications that are writing and putting together mock drafts? But obviously, if they're going to be the smartest guys, when they make swings, when they try and get cute, for lack of a better term, and they get it wrong, that's going to come back to bite them, or that's going to blow up a little bit. Where do you kind of fall in that teeter-totter of the franchise's way versus the consensus way?
Yeah, I think, and this is going to sound like the perfect fence-sitting answer, but I think it can go both ways to some extent. So the way I look at it is, I have a lot of respect for the guys out there, the Dane Bruglers of the world, who are putting in so much work and studying these guys and putting together, 1,000-page reports online for fans to consume and all that kind of stuff. I respect them. When you start getting into consensus board, the idea of a consensus for media is it falls apart in a couple of places. One, it falls apart after the first, let's say, 75 to 80 guys. And that's not a knock on the Dane Bruglers of the world, who I think he actually does do the work on 300-400 guys. I believe that. But I'm supposed to believe there's 130 people out there who know what they're talking about, first of all, but B, are putting in enough work to grade these guys in a way that makes sense. And the reason I say that is because if you talk to teams, I've been covering this league for over 20 years. If you talk to teams, they will tell you that sometimes they have as few as 100 guys or less with draftable grades, not even in the first 4 rounds. I'm talking about for the whole draft. So, of course, the board is going to fall apart at a certain point. And from there, it's either you're throwing darts on an athleticism trait, or you're throwing darts on a guy who may be a specific scheme fit to what you do, but 17 other teams don't see it that way. So there's no such thing as a consensus NFL board amongst the teams. I think there's a consensus board of all these people who are doing this work, and I'm not trying to denigrate them in any way because they do put in the work, a lot of them, but it's only useful for, I'd say, a couple of rounds, maybe up to 3, maybe midway through the 3rd round. So that's kind of where I stand. Is I think there's value in it. I think a lot of these guys do really good work, and I appreciate the blood, sweat, and tears they put into this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, the qualifications are different. And also there's information that teams are privy to that these people just flat out are not. As recently as 2 weeks ago, Jermod McCoy, the corner from Tennessee, was being mocked as a top 12 pick. And every team in the league already knew that this guy was going to fall because of a knee issue or an injury issue. And that's just a at-large example, but there are so many other examples, whether it's character, whether it's injury, that people just don't have access to, and it makes it really hard to have that. So again, I think using consensus to say this made more sense here at this spot in the first couple of rounds, fair enough. I get that. But I think once you get past that, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Nick, when it comes to, they had 3 4th-round picks. When it comes to that 4th round, I don't know whether you if you're a team that hits on that, you call it luck at some point or just good scouting and development. But there are some really good players that have come in that fourth round and turned out to be gems in the NFL. Looking at these three guys that they went for in this group, what kind of stood out to you about one in particular? Like, who was your favorite in terms of those 3 fourth rounders?
Yeah, Kayla, honestly, Grayson Halton and Carver Willis were probably my two favorite picks that the Niners made the whole weekend.
Oh, wow.
And part of that is just because I see it. I see the vision, right? And Grayson Halton, a really interesting guy who, if you look at the numbers, I had the stat that opponents averaged 1.8 yards a carry when he was on the field versus when he wasn't. It was over like around 3, and a pressure rate that was pretty good. But he was also not a starter, right? So it's you sit here and say, well, if he was a starter, would those numbers be even better, or would they get worse, or is he better because you can use him in limited role? Well, the good thing is they they can use him in a limited role. So that's a guy that I think made a lot of sense. And then Carver Willis, like, he's going to be a guard for them, and they need competition there. And I think he translates better there. From people I talk to, they're pretty intrigued by him. So I think those are a couple of picks that made a lot of sense. And bolstering the trenches is a thing that the 49ers need to do on both sides. So both of those guys made sense and have some upside to potentially be, at minimum, contributors right away, but also potential starters.
Developmental pick, the term developmental pick, Nick, is so broad because what does that mean? Does that mean like you're developing them for a very specific situation? Are you developing them on a timeline? So in your mind, when some of these guys are labeled developmental picks for the Niners, the circumstance that pops into my head is when the torch is ready to be passed from this current regime in San Francisco of, I guess, the Nick Bosa's, George Kittle's, not directly at the same positions, but when those guys, that generation is ready to pass the torch, whenever that is, whether it's a year, 2, 3 years from now, you're developing these guys to be ready to take that torch so there's not a massive drop-off. I think the Niners would like to avoid, especially with Brock Purdy here, right? As soon as those guys are done, well, there's going to be a season or two where they're really, really bad before they get back to where they want to be. Is that what we should look at in terms of developmental picks, or is it more specific to the positions or the roles that the Niners are looking for these guys to play?
Yeah, I think it's the goal is obviously they need to find some star power, which we talked about on this show a couple times leading up to the draft, right? I contended that was the number one thing. So I think a little bit you're hoping that some of these guys can turn into legitimate stars. Like maybe they've found another late 5th round pick or whatever who turns into Jaden Duggar, for example, who turns into a really good player. So I think you're hopeful that right away they can contribute in some way, whether that's on special teams or elsewhere. But eventually you're hoping that they can at least become starters. And the Niners have that history with some later round guys. They haven't done it here lately. I think they feel like the last couple of years are getting more back on that track. But it's also interesting because they did not just pick for need. They picked guys who I think they feel like have that upside. And if those guys can come in and learn from some of the guys you just mentioned, Matt, maybe that gives them a leg up toward that end.
One more from me, Nick. Obviously, we've got a list of some of the undrafted free agents that they were able to get in-house. Anybody who we should look out for? I know I've got like Vols fans obviously tagging me, Bryson Eason, because obviously, he was one of those guys, defensive tackle for Tennessee, but anybody who stood out to you?
I'm really intrigued by the pass rusher from Indiana, Mikhail Kamara.
Yeah.
He looked good on tape, and if you want to talk about consensus, sorry guys, my voice is going on.
It's
here.
okay. We're all like that too. You take your time.
That's my answer is Kamara. But one thing I noted it on Twitter is the Indiana guys that they continue to bring in. Kurt Cignetti, known for coaching those guys really hard. I think it gives them a chance to come to San Francisco, a place where guys are also going to get coached hard, and maybe there's a little bit more of a seamless fit that way. And those are the kind of guys the 49ers are also looking for. So that's a guy to me that makes a lot of sense. And obviously there's a path to a roster spot just based on kind of the needs, that pass rusher that they have. And maybe he's too similar to Romello Height, where he doesn't make the roster, but you can stash him on the practice squad. But yeah, and then, I mean, the other one that's obvious is just maybe we're going to have a punter competition, which I guess is probably a little less fun than a kicker competition. But boy, they'll both have us on the edge of our seats come training camp.
Well, in a last-ditch effort, Nick, to get you to lose your voice entirely, I got to sneak this in really, really quickly. We saw John Lynch's reaction, the grin when asked about Ty Simpson. What did you make with just that pick and the Rams going that direction? Sean McVay's reaction to everything. That was a fun story at the end of night one of the draft where the Niners didn't make a pick. They just made a lot of trades.
I did find it amusing that John Lynch smiled and then quickly pivoted into talking what a great pick Jeremiah Love was for Arizona. So I'll let people read into that whatever they want. But I will say this, like, if we're going to give anyone the benefit of the doubt when it comes to picking a quarterback, it's probably Sean McVay. And I know there's been a lot of defenses of Sean McVay's reaction. In his own words, he said, you know, he wanted to be respectful to the MVP, Matthew Stafford, which I think is fair, and probably there's truth in that as well. So, it was an interesting pick. It was certainly the one that I think made everybody's jaw drop a little bit, but I also feel like at the end of the day, there's no way. I know that Rams organization very well. I covered them for a long time in St. Louis. Still know Les Snead and Kevin Demoff and a lot of those people really well. There's no way that team would have drafted Ty Simpson as high as they did if Sean McVay didn't sign off on it. So I think there's probably, people reading a little too much into his reaction, but it certainly made for a fun, dramatic 24 hours until the second and third round started. And we'll see what happens. He's going into a good situation where he's not going to have to play right away. And obviously there's a lot of talent around him on a good team. So if he's ever going to have a chance to be a starting quarterback in this league and have success, that's a good place to land.
Well, to keep up with the rest of what the Niners do this offseason, including rookie minicamp right around the corner, Nick Wagner's got you covered, should I say, all offseason long over there on ESPN. Nick, you're an absolute MVP with this show. We appreciate you making the time, my friend. Look forward to chatting with you again soon. Go get some rest, will you? I feel like I say that every time, but go get some rest, get some tea, and we'll talk to you very soon.
All right, you guys, take care.
Thanks, Nick.
The great Nick Wagner from ESPN joining us. We will take the break. When we come back, let's switch gears to some Raiders draft coverage. Everybody loves what the Raiders did, and it scares me as a Raider fan. I'm not going to lie to you. Kayla is ready to give the Raiders their due, I guess, when it comes to the draft that they had, and I'm just here to enjoy it, I guess. It's Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
The 49ers and Raiders have completed their 2026 draft classes. Did San Francisco answer its most pressing roster questions? Have the Silver and Black surrounded their new franchise guy with enough help in year one? Tune into Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com for up-to-the-minute NFL draft insight. Your local sports leader, Sactown Sports 1140.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a hospitality manager at a 5-star hotel.
So I just checked into room 318, but someone was in there.
Room 318. Oh, you were supposed to be booked in 813, which is now booked.
So what do we do?
How about rock, paper, scissors for who gets the bid?
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Did you try my Colombian tamales? They're delicious.
Yes, but the Mexican tamales I brought are better.
Colombian tamales wrapped in plantain leaves are unmatched, you know.
But the Mexican tamales wrapped in corn husks are the authentic ones.
At least we can agree that they taste better with Pepsi.
Without a doubt. Can you pass me a straw?
You mean a pitillo?
Tamales deserve Pepsi.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Line dancing live DJs, mechanical bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Naturewood Home Furnishings, Metro by T-Mobile, and A1 Appliance. More info at CITPFest.com.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown 411 16th Street and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Spring is here, and warmer days are right around the corner. Before the heat hits, call Brower Mechanical. Right now, when you purchase a new high-efficiency AC system, you can choose a water heater or a whole house fan for just $1. Or get your AC professionally tuned up for just $89. Don't wait until your system breaks down during the heat. Brower Mechanical, where quality meets comfort. 916-352-3113. Residential and commercial HVAC sales and service. License number 108-1055.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Big thank you again to Nick Wagner from ESPN for joining us here on Sactown Sports, of course, covering the San Francisco 49ers and their draft. But ESPN, not Nick, but ESPN also, they were big fans of the Las Vegas Raiders draft. Three. Hold on. Let me make sure I get this right. I'm looking at, 4. Hold on. Yeah, 4 teams got A grades, which were the highest grades by ESPN. Those 4 teams were the Cleveland Browns, the Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Las Vegas Raiders. And, well, Kayla, you seem to agree with a lot of what the Raiders did. Tell me why you're so thrilled or happy with the draft that the Raiders had, outside, of course, of the selection of Fernando Mendoza, number 1 overall.
Well, first of all, they had 10 picks, which is incredible.
They got a lot.
And that was minus the couple that they lost with the rescinding of the Max Crosby trade.
Baltimore Snakes.
Yeah, the Baltimore Snakes. How dare them. But you know what? I think eventually it'll pay off because I truly do like what they did here because they went out and got the positions of need. Mm-hmm. And I truly feel like they did that on top of getting value where those picks were made.
So before you continue, there's one guy that they selected that when I was reading about him, I was like, oh my God, this is a Kayla Anderson guy.
Oh God.
So I feel like that's who you're going to talk about. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm very curious, but go ahead.
Okay. This will be interesting because I don't know if that's
really
if that's what if I'm going to give you that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there was a pick
but
that
now
I was
I'm
like
excited
reading about him. I was like, oh my God, Kayla's going to love this dude. Anyway, keep going.
Okay. So I will start with just the fact that in the second round, they took a safety, which they needed to address that. Trade in Stukes out of Arizona. They took a couple guys from Arizona. They took another safety from Arizona in the 5th round, actually, which is Dalton Johnson. But I liked, again, the fact that they went and got the position in need, which that was 1. One of my favorite picks is not a sexy pick, but he comes in the 3rd round at 91. And I did a lot of pre-draft homework on this guy in particular, Trey Zune, the center out of Texas A&M.
The 3rd.
Yes. And the reason why I like him, not because he's a center, that's Tyler Lindenbaum's job. Mm-hmm. This is a really versatile player. I watched some film on him in particular. For being a bigger guy, as linemen usually are, 6'6", this guy moves. Like, great foot movement. And what's awesome about him, he is versatile. So you're going to be able to possibly slip him in the inside. Maybe if at times you need him to swing out and play tackle, he could do that as well.
Well, he was a 4-year left tackle in college, wasn't he?
Exactly. So he's not going to be your center. He might not be your starting tackle. But what's great about a guy like this is when you have a versatile lineman, you can make sure that if there's a position that you need him to fit into, there's a likeliness he can do that. Just like I said, the quick feet, stays in front of his defender, just a relentless lineman, like somebody you want on the line, like does not give up on a play. Like this man has it. Like go watch some of his stuff at Texas A&M. Like the dude has it. I really liked that pick. I thought that was an extremely valuable pick where it was.
What did you make of, and I'll tell you the guy that I'm thinking, this is not him. What did you make of Jermod McCoy?
Okay, so that's next on my list.
Because he was sliding. At one point, he was considered to be the number one corner in the draft, but then he tore his Achilles, if I'm not mistaken,
he tore
right?
his ACL.
Or ACL, I'm sorry. It was someone else had an Achilles injury, but we'll get to that. Tore his ACL last season, so that's a catastrophic injury that had him plummet down the board. But as a Raider fan, in the fourth round, first pick in the fourth round, I love this swing. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I love this swing for the Raiders.
This is a Kayla guy.
Okay.
This is a Kayla guy.
Okay, tell me why.
First of all, he slides to the fourth round. You trade up a few spots to get him at 101. The amount of value at that spot, getting him there, I understand the injury. But you got him in the fourth round.
Yep.
And this was projected to be possibly a first rounder. That is where value, taking a risk sometimes, does pay off. You had 10 picks. You can maneuver a little in a situation like that and take risks. What I love about Jermod McCoy, I've been watching him for a very long time, not just because he was in Tennessee. He started at Oregon State. And he was good enough to get the eyes of several other bigger schools in the SEC. Tennessee is where he chose to play.
It's a big jump.
It's a big jump. I watched him at Tennessee when he was healthy that first year. Absolutely love him. This is a twitchy kind of cornerback, good size, good footwork. He locates the football well. This is everything you want in a cornerback. Like, he is a Raider type of player. Like, you can see him in press man coverage, like his ability, like it's all there if he is healthy. And I know there's a big if there, but again, it's value at where he slipped to. The biggest question mark is he going to need another surgery on the knee? He seems to think that his doctor said he's good to go.
Yep.
But the Raiders could possibly say, hey, we want you to do one more surgery so that we have no other issues and we don't necessarily have to play you this year.
Yeah, it's not a rush.
Exactly. I thought it was a great pick.
Yeah, I mean, he's a player that's based on athleticism. I mean, as a corner, you have to be an athlete, duh. But he made a lot of plays and came up and moved to Tennessee because of the athleticism that he had, at least from what I'm reading and what I watched in film. When you tear your ACL, are you going to be the same athlete you were? It's a very fair question, which makes sense why he'd fall this far.
Yeah, but for a team like on ACL have come a long way.
Right, and for a team like the Raiders where you can be patient because you're naturally going to be developing a year or two to get to where you want to be with your new franchise quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, some of the other guys that you're implementing now with the great offseason that they've had. Like, to me, this is a great swing because, hey, if you go get your other surgery that we need so you can come back 100%, you're going to feel like you're behind the eight ball. You're going to feel like you're falling behind, but we are committing to you to get you back as healthy as possible so that you can become one of those. This is the guy that was a steal of the draft because the Raiders were the right team to take the swing and were patient enough to ride it out.
Yeah.
So I love this swing for the Raiders. If it doesn't work out, is anybody going to blame Las Vegas in this spot?
No, again, it was the right team to get him. Like, other teams, I would have said, you don't have enough picks. You can't gamble there. Like, they can.
Yeah.
And they've made other great offseason moves, and for the most part, their draft was really good. Like, you can do a little bit of gambling in a draft when you have that many picks and you've hit on some other things. The last one, also cornerback, is out of California, and I can never say his name right. I think it's Hezekiah Massis.
You would know better than me.
I've tried. I looked at it before the show, and then I forgot again. I should have put my pronunciation on it. But Massis out of California, the cornerback. I love him too. I researched him during the draft as well. Great coverage skills. Led the country at Cal in pass breakups. Great coverage, speed and skill, like, is all there. Great anticipation. Like, he isn't the biggest of cornerbacks, like very different size-wise from McCoy. But he can be probably a guy you could use on special teams as well. And probably the run game is where he lacks the ability just because of the size.
So Traden Stukes, who the Raiders took with the 38th overall pick, it was their second round pick. He's the guy that I thought, this guy screams Kayla Anderson. And this is what I read.
Okay.
This is one of the first things I read about him, and I pulled it up so I could read it. It's a prospect analysis. 6th-year senior and team captain who went from walk-on to unquestioned leader of his defense at the University of Arizona. Stukes combines his infectious passion, with hours of preparation that allow him to play fast. He communicates well from zone and works quickly from route to route. And then it talks about he does have work to do in man coverage. But that explanation of the workhorse, the story, and for the Raiders to go out and get someone who, in theory, maybe not right away as a rookie, but in theory can become a captain of the defense, a communicator. You're that back line. You're that last line of defense, but you're also kind of the guy that's running the ship sometimes from way back there and calling things out. From the preparation to just reading that about him, I thought for sure this was going to be a Kayla Anderson guy.
It's funny. He that description, not undrafted, but Kevin Byard was he's still playing. He's playing for New England now. Played for Chicago last year. He was with the Titans since the day that I got there, and everything you just read about him and being the captain of the defense, it reminds me of Kevin. And Kevin went to MTSU, small Middle Tennessee, and then obviously got his chance in the NFL and has been a Pro Bowler. That's the type of player that can pay off for sure. And I think Stokes will probably play right away.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of difference maker, I don't know that he'll probably grow into that role. But yeah, no, I thought it was a great pick. I thought, again, their draft was overall, like on paper. And by the way, Mike Washington, the running back out of Arkansas, overall, looking on paper, it looks really good. Now, they got to go out and make sure that translates on the field. But I thought they had a really good draft.
Well, I am very excited for Pick a Side today. A number of topics from Victor Wembanyama talking about concussion protocol to the bloodbath in Boston with the Red Sox and movie theater etiquette. That's all coming up on Pick a Side here, Sactown Sports.
Fernando Mendoza is officially a Raider. Under mentors like Kirk Cousins and Tom Brady, will the former Indiana star shine in Clint Kubiak's West Coast offense? How close are the silver and black to keeping pace in the AFC West? Your local sports leader, Sactown Sports 1140.
Breaking news for your home. Wayday is here. It's Wayfair's big sale, where you can score the best deals in home, like up to 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Wayday long. You won't find better deals for your home anywhere else. We're talking furniture, decor, rugs, and more, all at Wayfair, and all up to 80% off during Wayday. So don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Wayday now through April 27th to score the best deals in home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Monster Truck Madness storms into the Stockton Dirt Track with the most affordable penalty fun on May 9th. Tickets started at $15. Admission includes the bid party. Meet the drivers, touch the trucks, feel the power. And don't miss $10 Monster Truck ride and put you in the action. Save money now at StocktonDirtTrack.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I need a little range, step to the range.
There's a new flavor in town, the Jalapeno Ranch Club at Chick-fil-A. With that juicy Chick-fil-A original spicy or grilled chicken, a buttermilk ranch bun, candied bacon, pepper jack cheese, and jalapeno ranch sauce. It's got big ranch vibes with a little heat. Chick-fil-A's new Jalapeno Ranch Club, available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
Sacramento! Now you got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
Buying golf gear is easy. Buying the right golf gear, well, that's different. At Hagen Oaks, they don't just sell equipment, they fit your entire game. With TrackMan technology in the Player Performance Studio, your clubs are matched to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Fitting helps you find the golf ball that performs best for you. Hagen Oaks Putter Fitting Studio dials in your stroke, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds correct shoe size for your feet. It's a smarter way to play better golf. Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80.
Pick a side, any side. It's time for Pick a Side on Matt and Kayla.
We're very happy to have Kyle Ledbetter back with us after a well-deserved vacation and a couple days in addition to that the week beforehand. Kyle, you're back to your pick-a-side duties. What are we talking about today?
Yes, after, I think 10 days. I vacated the pick-a-side.
Nice.
Wow, Kayla's taking a vacation.
I
Kyle's
took like
taking a
3
vacation.
days.
Matt literally missed 1 day because he doesn't know his kid's school schedule.
Now, to be fair, before you started
Time
this
for a
job,
vacay, baby.
You took vacation.
In November? Yeah. That doesn't count.
By the way, can I just say, I don't like the way that we're policing vacation on this show.
Why? Don't police vacation. It's great. You have it. Use it.
Policed it.
No, I'm saying I'm due.
Kayla, you're the vacation police. I remember Alan missed 1 day back in March, and you were like, "Oh, the first person to miss a day on all the shows."
No, the only reason I said that is because there was a person keeping track of the shows, and someone had said that we were the only show that had not taken time off.
Yeah,
That's
we
why
were the first show to. We were the last show to have anybody take time.
I don't police vacation. I've been in this business a long time. I'm gonna do what I want to do.
That's what I'm saying. I'm due.
But
because I haven't taken vacation.
To my defense, I do not just take sick days to take sick days. So.
That's true. Which we need to talk about that though, because we got to talk about that. You're not wrong for doing it.
Okay.
I just want you to go and use it.
Why?
Because it's money. You just use it or lose it.
I will say the vacation was supposed to be last week. I got sick and missed the Thursday and Friday before vacation, so it ended up being way longer than it was supposed to be.
I'm
by
10
accident.
days. Damn.
No, must be nice when you got that Kyle Ledbetter money.
That's the thing you'll learn about me, guys. I don't take long vacations. I take Thursday, Friday, and a Monday. So I never take a long extended.
Who's gonna do the classic radio show summer move where they take the week off of
just
the All-Star break in baseball?
let me know ahead of time.
When there's nobody,
let me know ahead of time.
Well,
will I be the bad guy?
Probably.
We already told you, Kayla, there's going to be a crazy coincidence in the schedule where Matt and I are both going to be out, and I think it's right around the NBA draft.
Oh yeah, that's going to be rough.
Oh, Kyle's out too?
Probably.
Oh, yeah. That week.
We better have a plan for that.
That's
else
gonna be
Kayla
rough.
ain't showing up either.
That's going to be rough.
Yeah, so
we got to figure that one out.
I'm out that week, I think Matt's out 3 days.
You'll have plenty of people. Anyway, it's time to pick a side.
Oof.
Yeah, look at us doing our planning
sick.
on the air.
Okay, let's get sick. You don't take sick days, you just said.
To use them.
You liar.
Speaking of sick days, Wemby apparently took a sick day for Game 3 of the playoffs. That was a terrible transition.
I liked it.
He had a concussion, air quotes concussion, because...
What do you mean air quotes?
Because the report was that he was ruled out with a concussion.
Uh-huh.
By the NBA's concussion protocol, you can have an independent neurologist evaluate you. Wemby had the independent neurologist evaluate him, and the independent neurologist cleared him, but there wasn't enough time to get him into the game. It happened basically after the fact, so he missed the game.
Yep.
Wemby was asked about it and kind of sidestepped the question a little.
I won't get into the details. I don't want it to become a distraction. Ask me again after the end of the season, but again, all the doctors, especially on the Spurs, but the doctors all around, they were great, took great care of me. but the way the situation was handled was very disappointing. Not on the Spurs again.
Which, by the way, the Spurs have a long documented history of issues with the doctors and their players. See Kawhi Leonard's entire exit from the Spurs. So, do we think he should have been allowed to play in Game 3?
No, I don't think so. And this is coming from someone who's rooting for the Spurs more than anybody else in these playoffs. No, I am always on the side of, and I know it's an unpopular take, and I've been killed for it before, and I'll say it again. I think athletes need to be protected from themselves. I think we saw Tyrese Halliburton, what happened to him.
Yep.
He was allowed to come back, and exactly why you don't want to come back with a hamstring injury, I think it was a hamstring, happened. Calf, thank you, a calf injury, and we saw what happened, right? So I am all for the league needs to step in and err on the side of caution, especially with concussions and head injuries for any player who's young and just getting started. You have to take it very, very seriously. I understand Wemby wants to play, completely understand that. Always err on the side of caution with me, with athletes battling back. It was one game. Trust your team. They're fine. He came back, and they got the job done in Game 4.
Yeah, I'm actually with that. Just spending so much time covering the NFL and knowing so many players with concussions. I mean, look, most of the time when a concussion happens in the NFL, they're not only out 1 week, they're out 2 weeks usually. When a concussion happens, it's automatically thought now, okay, that's probably going to be out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So Wemby's very actually lucky that he was able to come back as soon as he did. I think he looks at it like, I felt okay.
Yep.
I felt like I could play. I think the league looks at it like we at least got to hold you out one game.
Yep. I understand Wemby's point of view completely, but it's on the league to protect.
I
and
agree.
I think the league did the right thing.
It's tough, though, because I get with the concussion specifically, there's like a protocol you have to go through and stuff like that. It's like specifically laid out by like neurologists. Like, this is what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
But the fact that it seems like the independent neurologist cleared him to play made it seem like he probably could have played in Game 3, and that somewhere along the lines they chose to err on the side of caution when perhaps they didn't have to.
Yes, but based off of what's happened, plus it's the first round and it's one game, I think the league is in their right to kind of put their foot down with this versus if it's the NBA Finals, maybe it's another completely different conversation, but I think the league did the right thing here.
Next question.
All right, next question. The Boston Red Sox
bloodbath
fired everybody. They fired Alex Cora. They fired most of his staff. I think they promoted their AAA manager to interim manager. I don't know if you guys saw the story about it, but like the GM, I think it's Craig Breslow, like spoke to the team after the fact, and the team was like, not good enough. We need a better message about why you're firing our coach. Like the team
They
was
were
like,
pissed.
he has to explain it. Trevor's story like laid into him.
He was not happy.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, do we think the Red Sox are in last place, one of the worst records in the American League? But firing a manager in April essentially is like punting on the season. So, right move or no?
Not a right move at all. How it was handled, bad.
Yep.
It's a knee-jerk reaction firing, and we know what those are like around here.
Yep.
Wrong thing to do. I understand the disappointment in Boston, but this is a situation that a general manager or that management makes to, like, in a way, save themselves, and they in the end, like, hurt themselves more by making a move like this.
Sure.
This is stupid. It's ridiculous. It's short-sighted. The reaction of the players says everything that you need to know. And the Red Sox season is cooked. I mean, even if they catch fire, who gets the credit for that? It's going to be the players for rallying despite everything that's gone on. So, yeah, totally wrong move by the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who played 14 years in the majors. He has had success with the Red Sox, obviously, especially in that first year. To do it in this manner is just, it's a really bad look on the organization. I also believe it's such a weird sport in terms of like going through real lows and going through highs.
Yep.
And sometimes you have to ride that wave out. Obviously, the players were not happy with it. And
Right.
those are the guys that if they feel like they're getting what they need out of a manager and it's more on them, I don't feel like it's really worth giving up on somebody that early. But Breslow, he doubled down on it and said, by acting today, it gives us 135 games ahead of us. So we have almost a full season to take advantage of a fresh start. bro, you could have like revamped yourself. It happens all the time in the majors, like where players just get out of their funks or things happen.
You get hot.
You really think it was Cora? Like that's how confident you are that you just needed to change managers?
I guess enjoy the rest of the season, Breslow, because I don't know if you're going to have another one after this. So
yeah, World Series winning manager Alex Cora.
I just think it's crazy.
Definitely the problem. All right, last one. Is it okay to sing along in the movie theater?
Yes. Okay, time out. Just wait for the background on this. It depends on what you're watching or what you're going to see and what the people around you are doing. I went to go see Michael Jackson. If you did not catch the start of the show, I talked about it. Went to see it in the theater. If you actually go look on social, it's playing in theaters all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
And there's like flash dance dances on like during like parts of the movies. Like it's like an experience.
This is so stupid.
So anyway, during the movie, there are obviously his hits throughout it. And at parts you feel like you're at the concert.
Mm-hmm.
And so during those parts, me included, and there's other people in the theater, we were singing, not loud, not that you couldn't hear it over Michael, but we're just singing along in our seats. Not loud again, quietly. And Matt thinks that is like so wrong.
Yeah, no, that ain't it.
And I said, I think it's fine.
If you're going to a concert or whatever, duh,
But it was
you're there
kind
to
of
sing.
like a concert.
No, it's a movie. I want to hear how the performers are singing. I want to hear what the movie is like.
I could still hear the performers.
If I'm distracted because Kayla Anderson's next to me going, the way you make me feel.
It was just my dad.
Either way, I don't care. I'm there
dad
to watch the
didn't say
movie. It's also like, listen, I have gone to see movies of franchises that I love. So, of course, when
Lord of the Rings?
when the Hobbit movies
But you're
came
not
out.
singing in it.
Well, but I'm also
that
not
would've
one
made
to
it
like,
better.
let me clap. Oh, God, what a great scene. Or watching these stupid videos. And look, listen, fan how you want to fan, I guess. It would have pissed me off. Like, you can't even hear the damn Avengers movies because the psychos are cheering and screaming every time Spider-Man comes on screen and stuff like that.
Ours was very, like, low-key.
This is very get off my lawn, old man.
I can tell, man.
When you take a kid to a kid's movie, you understand to some extent kids are going to be talking and stuff like that. When I'm going to see the Michael Jackson movie with a bunch of adults, I want to hear the rendition of how they portray the song. I don't want to hear people around me singing.
No, so
go to a concert.
It was like very low. It was like, you know, the way you make me feel.
Yes, but if I hear that while I'm trying to watch the movie, I'm telling you to shut up and eat popcorn.
It's so loud.
And there's somebody stuffing their hair going, while they're eating. No.
Oh my
In
God.
fairness, it would have been a little awkward at the movie I went to because there was only like 6 people in the theater.
Yeah, I think it just depends on like the theater and like how loud the movie is. You can't even hear
I love
people singing. Really,
I love to sing along. I love that kind of stuff. Love karaoke. I love that. That's not the setting.
But if
for
you weren't singing along in this Michael Jackson movie, like then you might as well just have thought it was boring. Like it makes you want to get out of your seat and dance.
Oh, that must be why I thought it was boring.
You felt like you were at a concert. You truly did.
Sit down, tap your foot, and watch a movie.
Not me.
That's not a concert.
Not me, baby.
It's not a concert.
I don't know. The last 10 minutes, it literally was.
Well, but it's the same thing with Bohemian Rhapsody. But you didn't see. I hopefully didn't see people jumping up, like rocking out and singing Queen songs in the freaking movie theater. Queen.
Oh God.
I didn't know.
Ron Ultra says this is the one reason why I won't be watching it because there's people like me in there.
Yeah,
singing.
No. And I honestly that might have decided it for me. I'm waiting for it to come out on TV.
I'm not saying that was happening in all theaters.
Nah, I want to see the movie. I don't need to hear.
You might have to wait till it comes
y'all
out.
sing. All right, we'll take the break. When we come back, switching gears to the NBA playoffs. I'm just saying, y'all, it's a lot of crickets. A lot of crickets out there when it comes to De'Aaron Fox. Where y'all at? I want to hear it. It's Matt and Kayla here on Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Whoa. Okay, this one says you get a free phone if you switch. Hey, this one also says you get a free phone if you switch.
Yeah, they all do, hon.
Wait. The T-Mobile one says families saved over $3,700 versus the other big guys in the past 5 years. And their experience plans have Netflix included, plus a year of Dash Pass by DoorDash.
Hang on. Let me see that. And a 5-year price guarantee? Oh, yeah, we're switching.
That's what I'm talking about. Do we clap now, or...?
I'm thinking high-five.
At T-Mobile, get savings that keep stacking up. That's value you can feel every day. Switch now at T-Mobile.
Savings based on Harris X billing snapshots from Q3 2021 to Q4 2025 among accounts with 3+ voice lines compared to AT&T and Verizon, excluding discounts, credits, and optional charges. See harrisx.com/T-Mobile. Price guarantee on talk, text, and data. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com.
Buying golf gear is easy. Buying the right golf gear, well, that's different. At Hagen Oaks, they don't just sell equipment, they fit your entire game. With TrackMan technology in the Player Performance Studio, your clubs are matched to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Fitting helps you find the golf ball that performs best for you. Hagen Oaks Putter Fitting Studio dials in your stroke, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds correct shoe size for your feet. It's a smarter way to play better golf. Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80.
No way. Gas prices shot up again.
I know, but I got us covered.
So generous. What's your deal?
What's my deal? I went to Metro and saved. Got 4 lines for just $25 each and 4 free new Samsung Galaxy A17 5G phones, and all on the T-Mobile network.
Ah, how about we go to Metro today?
Get that more for your money feeling. Visit your Metro by T-Mobile store. Just bring your numbers. Not available if you've been with Metro or T-Mobile in the past 180 days.
Is the crew on their way so we can fire up the grill?
Cabrito, arrachera. They're gonna love it.
Better go with birria and carne en su jugo. Classic Jalisco dishes with tradition.
That seasoning is great, but northern Mexican-style meat speaks for itself. Let's make both.
Deal. And to boost the flavor, ice-cold Pepsi. Its sweetness pairs perfectly.
And to go with it, flour tortillas.
And corn ones too. Hey, carne asada deserves Pepsi.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. It's time for the lunch break. Your calls, your thoughts, your segment. Call or text us at 916-339-1140. It's the lunch break on Matt and Kayla.
Yes, indeed, it is lunch break time. And whatever we're eating, it's about to get salty. I can already see it on the comment section. I can already see it. Mustache Spider providing the salt for everybody's lunch in the comment section right now. Oh, people are upset that De'Aaron Fox played well. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. I was waiting for it. I can't wait to hear Alan Stiles today because I know what Alan's going to do. Alan's going to do his Alan thing, and that's fine. Yeah. He's 100%.
Has he tweeted about it?
I don't think so. He's tweeted about Mike Brown, though. I haven't seen nothing on Twitter about. By the way, side note, and we'll talk about this when the Drive guys join us to end the show. I got to see Alan in his element emceeing Rivercats game over the weekend. I went on Friday night. He's very good. He's very good at what he does. There is a story that I will tell on the air about him, and he's emceeing a game where a kid is like, it's like a putting competition on top of the dugout.
Did you tweet it out?
Yeah, yes. Yeah. And the video is hilarious because the kid's name is Bennett. So every time this kid putts, it's just Alan in a microphone going, Bennett! Bennett!
Oh, that's funny.
It's just peak Alan Stiles. But he's very, very good as an MC at the Rivercats. And I mean that with all sincerity. There's no sarcasm there. Love Alan. He does a phenomenal job. Alan hustles like crazy. From his radio show to doing that for Rivercats to his Locked On Giants stuff. Like Alan hustles like crazy.
He's got 2 girls.
It was fun to see him in his element at Sutter Health Park. But I am interested to hear what he's going to say about De'Aaron Fox because in his Alan way, he's going to like give him credit but not give him credit. Mm-hmm. Is what it is. It's totally fine. But I enjoyed the hell out of Fox's performance in Game 4 because it didn't start out great for the Spurs in general. This is, I think, one of the first times ever, if not the first time ever in the playoffs, that a team went from trailing by 15 or more points in the first half to winning a game by 15 or more points. That the Spurs completely dominated the second half, but while they got through that rough first half, De'Aaron Fox was the guy leading the charge. And Charles Barkley said it best on Inside the NBA afterwards. By the way, Inside the NBA did a fantastic interview with De'Aaron Fox from the tunnel. And
I think Wemby photobombed him.
Yeah, Wemby without a shirt on came and photobombed him.
Yeah.
De'Aaron is a phenomenal interview. He's always been a phenomenal interview. And he said some really good things about kind of the young guards and him kind of being the unk on that team, even though he's like 28 years old. But Charles Barkley said it best. De'Aaron was the best player on the floor, and it wasn't close.
Yeah.
Like, De'Aaron carried the team. And then I wanted to point this out, too, because not enough people are talking about this. And I'm glad that Michael Redd, former NBA star, pointed it out. He said, Fox guarding Denny Advia was a game changer. That pressure at the point of attack messed with Denny and the Blazers' rhythm. You could see De'Aaron wanted that challenge, too. Shout out to the Spurs staff. Yes, this is something we saw a lot with De'Aaron in Sacramento. Was he a perfect defender all the time? No. It's a very fair criticism with De'Aaron to say that he doesn't always turn it on. Sometimes he has to turn it on. And we talked about, like, whether it was angry De'Aaron Fox, which Alan made a joke about, but it's a real thing. We used to talk about, don't get De'Aaron Fox angry because he'll lock in. Like, why can't you do that all the time? That's a very fair criticism about De'Aaron Fox. You will not hear me make any noise or any mess about that, because we talked about that a lot in his time here in Sacramento. But defensively, De'Aaron typically was taking on the defensive assignments that opposing teams weren't taking on him, if you know what I mean. He was typically guarding the opposing team's best player, and they were not guarding him a lot of the time. And De'Aaron did that against Denny Advia. Great win by the Spurs to take back control of that series after a bad first half. De'Aaron Fox absolutely balled out in that game. I'm proud of him, and I'm glad it shuts up a lot of the ridiculous things that we were hearing said about De'Aaron based off of one playoff game, erasing the underrated season that he's had, erasing the great things that he's done in the playoffs, whether it was here in Sacramento. He played really well in game one, and I don't think calling him Robin to Wemby being Batman is an insult, considering all of the essential Robins there are around the league. So I'm glad some people got shut up a little bit by how well De'Aaron Fox played.
Yeah, and to be fair, there were plenty of things on X after the win that were giving De'Aaron Fox credit.
Not enough!
Maybe not enough for Matt liking, but I did see a lot of it.
Yes, they did.
So in all fairness, though, yes, De'Aaron Fox, who, by the way, had 28 points in that game, when it was time to be clutch, and this is important because the argument we had last week when he was kind of invisible a little bit, when he needed to be, a little bit more relevant, this was definitely different. And when he needed to be clutch, he was clutch. When they tied the game up, and then from then on out, because again, Portland was pretty much controlling that game, he decided to kick it into another gear, and there was no denying De'Aaron Fox in those moments in the fourth quarter. And it just goes to show that I, particularly in that game, thought it was a very weird game because Wemby was lost, and I did think it set a weird tone in that game for many of those players. And I was not trying to make it an excuse for De'Aaron, but I'm like, I don't know if we should be pointing this one game out as just like he's a total flop when it comes to the playoffs.
He did not play well. He did not step up. We said that repeatedly on this show.
And I do think it, though, was something like the circumstance of what had happened.
Sure.
And again, not an excuse, but reality of what happens to a team when a star goes down.
Right.
But in this game, he showed that he can be the guy in clutch when he needs to be. And again, I get what you're saying. Like, where's all the haters now that are going to come out and say, hey, De'Aaron won it for them? Of course that's not going to happen. Because
shocking.
It's easier to hate.
Of course.
Especially if you know the player well or you have something against a player. It's easier to go out there and hate than it is when they do a good job. You're not going to get the flowers.
Listen, we started the show that day, and what was the first thing I said when talking about that game? The first thing I said was, De'Aaron Fox is paid to step up in those moments, and he did not.
Yep.
The issue that I always had was not having criticism for De'Aaron Fox for that game. It was making all the assumptions and all the commentary around De'Aaron Fox about that game. That was the issue. You take a one-game sample size, you overreact to it in a negative way to start dragging the dude and suggesting he needs to be traded, he's not worth his money, blah, 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 blah. And you're entitled to your opinion. But if you're going to base it all off one game, then you're damn right. I'm going to take one game where he played well, and I'm going to turn it on its head because it's not just one game. He's played well consistently throughout this season. He stepped up in a major way early in the year when Wemby was out with injuries, including that NBA Cup run. He had one of the greatest scoring debuts of all time in NBA playoff history here in Sacramento. So it's not just a one-game thing, which is what that entire argument was based off of. This is not what the segment is about, but it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me, the amount of misinformation out there about De'Aaron Fox here in Sacramento that people bring up and reference like they know what the hell they're talking about. Mustache Spider. Fox was a phenomenal interview in his last season where he ducked the media during losing streaks. There have been stories, this is all public information. De'Aaron Fox was not asked during a lot of games to speak after blowout losses. And De'Aaron has talked about that publicly. It's been written about before. So again, the amount of misinformation about what happened with Fox here in Sacramento is ridiculous. Mustache Spider, you're wrong. That did not happen, and you can ask any media member. I remember in those moments, the Kings had gotten their ass kicked by the Boston Celtics, and Keon Ellis came out to the podium, and we dragged the Kings for that. The media was all over the Kings for that, and by proxy,
was it the Kings?
De'Aaron Fox. And De'Aaron was very open about the fact he was not asked. Again, there are stories, there's stuff written about this online. So I understand people don't like De'Aaron Fox. That's totally fine. You don't like how it ended. You're not going to root for him anymore because he's not a King. Hell yeah, be you, do you. The amount of misinformation about what happened with De'Aaron Fox here, same thing with Mike Brown, is ridiculous to me, and it has nothing to do with the fact that he balled out for the San Antonio Spurs, and he's a really important piece of a team that should be contending for a title.
This is my whole thing on it. If you are a De'Aaron Fox hater, so be it. That's fine.
Do you?
But if you're going to go drag somebody and base it on one game and drag them through the mud, again, your decision, then at least have the self-awareness to then go and say, hey, look, I know I dragged De'Aaron, but hey, this was it. But I know that's not what people do. It's what I do. Like if I drag someone through the mud and they prove me wrong, or a quarterback like Sam Darnold, who I've hated on, I'll come back and I'll be the first to admit it.
Sure.
That's what I don't like about people who go and voice on social. It's like, you want to go and voice your opinions, that's fine. But when you're wrong, admit you're wrong.
Keep that same energy.
That's what I'm all about.
Does this mean that De'Aaron's going to play perfectly for the rest of the playoffs?
No,
I don't expect him to.
No.
I expect there are more bad days coming. I expect there are more good days coming. And there was actually a really, really good comment on social media that I saw, and it's 100% true. And I think it was meant as a criticism towards De'Aaron Fox, but it also could be looked at as a positive. It talked about, well, De'Aaron's on a team now where if he doesn't play well, it doesn't kill them. That's a really good, accurate statement, because the Kings needed De'Aaron Fox to be fantastic for them to really go as far as they were going to go. The amount of head of the snake he was called and things like that here in Sacramento. That's true. And if you want to criticize, and this is a lot of Allen's point, if you want to criticize, Fox is not the guy because he when there were games, sometimes too often, there are games where he wasn't the best version of himself. If that's your criticism, that's totally fine. But that wasn't the criticism after that Fox game. It was that Fox is terrible, get him out of town, trade him. He's not even the second best player on that team, which is ridiculous. I like Stephon Castle a lot. I like Dylan Harper. Both those guys played really, really well in Game 3, which Wemby didn't play in.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox played fine. Those two played really well in that game. De'Aaron Fox is smart enough to recognize if these guys are getting going, I'm going to impact the game in other ways. He does that. Some people look at that as disappearing. That's why it's a team game. In Sacramento, he had to do everything. When he broke his hand, or the Warriors broke his hand, they didn't do it intentionally, it just happened in basketball. In the playoffs, that's where the series fell apart for the Sacramento Kings, because Fox was not the same after that point. He had to be for the Kings to be the best versions of themselves. In San Antonio, he is one of two main veterans, him and Harrison, on a team featuring a generational center and two high draft pick guards that have all the upside in the world. But he is the second best player on that team. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's paid like it. If you think he's overpaid, that's fine.
And that was my question. Like, is it more so people, if they want to take a shot at him, it's because like you're getting paid this amount of money to possibly be, like you're saying, he's a 2, but some people might look at him as a 3, or that he's not the 2 as much as he needs to be the 2.
Sure.
And so maybe that's like a reason, but again, he didn't pay himself.
No, it's not his money.
Why do we get?
It's also not your money that you're paying him. The Spurs traded for him knowing full well they were going to have to give him that contract, and guess what? They gave up nothing for him.
Yeah. I don't think I make too much money. No, I think I get paid more.
Not now, Zach.
Zach, sit down.
Not now.
It doesn't really matter.
It does matter.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Yes, it does, De'Aaron. I'm defending you.
It doesn't really matter.
Be quiet.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
The Spurs, there is no risk at all with the Spurs taking on De'Aaron Fox because the Kings couldn't even get Keldon Johnson, the now sixth man of the year, for him. The one thing they got from the San Antonio Spurs that might be worth a damn period, they couldn't even get their pick swap back. They got a 2031 Minnesota Timberwolves first-round pick. And that's what we're hoping for at this point. And they got the Spurs, like, 2027 first, which isn't going to be any good.
Well, they already traded it to get...
That's true. Spurs, that pick is gone. But they had gotten that in the deal.
Also, they couldn't even get Sohan, and the Spurs didn't even want him.
That's the point.
Crazy.
I would have been happy with Sohan.
The Spurs fleeced the living hell out of the Sacramento Kings in the De'Aaron Fox trade.
Right?
Well, Monty did it. But I don't think it was Monty's choice.
No, it was Monty, but Sam Amick has reported that there was influence from ownership.
We have a pretty good idea of everything. We don't need to go into that. We're talking about De'Aaron Fox as a San Antonio Spur. The point is, again, I'm taking my victory laps here and I'm enjoying it because, yes, I am a De'Aaron Fox fan. People can accuse me all they want. Whitey Gleason can say on the air, and I know he's saying it tongue-in-cheek, but he can say on the air, I'm only defending De'Aaron Fox the way I do because De'Aaron's my friend. He's not.
You guys are buddies, huh?
We are not friends, believe it or not. I just covered him his entire career, so we got to know each other over that time. We are not friends. He does not check in with me every day or check in with me very often by any means. I'm certainly not on his payroll. You damn sure wish I was, because if I could have a fraction of that Rich Paul money, give me some of that. But of course, I'm not. This is a guy that's called me out publicly on social media multiple times. It doesn't benefit me at all to kiss De'Aaron's you-know-what. It doesn't. I'm defending him because he's one of the best players the Sacramento Kings have ever had, and the Kings absolutely blew it in trading him, and I'm rooting, or the way they traded him, I should say, and I'm rooting for him and the Spurs to be successful because, of course, I'm a fan of his. Right. I'm also a fan of Victor Wembanyama. I think the Spurs are incredibly fun and a great team to watch, and I, like all of us, I think, are hoping for that OKC Spurs series that should be a lot of fun, and the Spurs would not be favored in that series. I think that's great.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
To tell you the truth, though, I'll give credit to Portland, not because they blew the lead last night.
They've been playing good.
But they've been playing some really good basketball, knowing what they were going up against. I think the games have been I've liked the games, and I know it added a little drama without Wemby in there, but I almost think it kind of made things a little more interesting. There's like storylines to it. I actually ended up going from thinking this could be one of the worst series in the opening round to one that I've quite frankly enjoyed.
Yeah. So. If I'm a Blazers fan, I'm not feeling good about my owner, but I'm feeling very good about the future of my team.
For sure.
Scoot Henderson did not play well in game 4. Had, I think, 0 points, but Shaedon Sharpe has upside. Like, there's a lot about that team. Yeah. And Denny Advia had a breakout season. So he's been great. Yeah. Like, there's so much about that Portland team that I'd be excited about. So Blazers fans should be feeling good no matter what happens in this series. By the way, I think the series is over. It's going to go back to San Antonio, and Spurs are going to wrap it up. There. But if I'm a Blazers fan, I'm feeling very good.
Same here.
Plus, you're getting Dame Lillard back next year. There's belief that the Blazers are going to be in the Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes this summer. If I'm a Blazers fan, I'm feeling pretty good. And Mustache Spider doesn't have a good anti-argument for De'Aaron Fox, so now he's pretending to understand or believe that he knows my relationship with De'Aaron Fox. That's where we've gotten to in the comment section. Let's switch gears to the New York Knicks. I saw this on Friday, and I didn't see this while we were on the air, and it's a good thing, too, because I would have blown up about it. Did you see the now deleted Bleacher Report graphic that they put out, completely taking Mike Brown's comments out of...
Okay, I did not see that firsthand. I heard you talk about it.
It's ridiculous.
So what happened?
So, let me read for you the full quote.
Okay.
Well, actually, first I'll tell you this. And by the way, Yahoo Sports is just as guilty because Yahoo Sports headline, Mike Brown surprisingly says New York Knicks won't win 2026 NBA Championship.
That's what it was. Okay.
And Bleacher Report put out a graphic that said, I'm not saying we're going to win it when talking about the series against the against the Hawks, which they were down 2-1 at the time. This was before Game 4, which, by the way, the Knicks played fantastic in Game 4 to even the series up. They put out this lazy graphic to pour gasoline on the fire, and you click on the tweet. It's now deleted because Bleacher Report ran, but it's now deleted. But the first comment under this post is by known New York Knicks superfan Ben Stiller.
Oh, wow.
And he's with the mind blown emoji. So you put out something like this, Ben Stiller gets a hold of it, now it spreads like wildfire to all the pissed off New York Knicks fans who are trying to run Mike Brown out of town, and all the other casual NBA fans that see a Knicks team that's struggling and just jumping on this.
Yep. So was Stiller for it?
I think, no, he was just saying it. He just had a mind blown emoji.
Blown,
mind blown. My mind is blown that my coach would say such a thing. Here's what Mike actually said that was taken completely out of context. He was talking about coming back from down 2-1.
Yep.
He said, I told them this when talking to his team. It's a 7-game series for a reason. Stuff's going to happen. Plenty of teams have been down 1-2. He added, S-word, I even think Oklahoma City was down 1-2 last year, and they ended up winning it. I'm not saying we're going to win it or anything like that.
Yep.
He is referencing the defending champs coming back from a 2-1 deficit and winning the NBA Finals, not winning the series, winning the finals. And this is Mike Brown. I'm pumping the brakes. I'm not saying that I'm not calling my shot that we're going to be NBA champions today. Now, would you like your coach to stand up there and go, we're as good and we're going to win a title? Sure, I guess, whatever. If you really have a problem with that. It's so Bush League to take a quote like that.
It's very misleading.
It's extremely misleading.
Yeah,
shame on Bleacher
is.
Report. Shame on Yahoo for their bogus headline to instigate and to pour gasoline on the fire.
That's where we're at now. That's where we're at. Remember you put out that tweet the other day about the pick, the flipping of the coin. And
the coin flip,
you were thinking, okay, I'm going to do a little test because I'm going to say all this stuff in the beginning, and if people don't listen to the end, they're going to take it one way.
Yep.
And sure enough, people looked at the headline or listened to the first 2 seconds and made their thoughts on it.
Yep.
When really, if they would have listened to the end or actually read the whole thing, they would have known
it's a bit.
The opposite. It was a bit. So it just goes to show, that's where we're at right now in terms of sports society, that Yahoo and them know that if they put out a tweet headlining that, which is very misleading, that's going to go run wild, and no one's ever going to actually look at the full picture of things, which is wrong.
Well, now this has come out from Sam Amick, of course, friend of the station, Sam Amick from The Athletic, saying Knicks head coach Mike Brown could be on the hot seat even if New York wins in the Eastern Conference Finals this year. The noise surrounding the Knicks' Mike Brown won't die down unless they reach the NBA Finals, and even that might not be good enough for the first-year New York coach to be safe. The Mike Brown disrespect is ridiculous to me. The fact that stuff like this is coming out off of a win for Mike. Now, I, like everybody, thought the Knicks would have an easier time with this Atlanta Hawks team than they did, or than they have so far. I still think the Knicks are going to win the series. Credit to the Hawks for making it as difficult as it's been. And we knew when Mike took the job how much responsibility and how...
Mike knew.
Of course he knew. And you know what he did? He got the Knicks to give him a 4-year, $40 million deal. Hey, you want to cut me and blame me? Be my guest. I'll take another 3 years to sit on the couch and collect that money.
Yeah.
And now we don't know what Steve Kerr's going to do. Mike Brown might go to Golden State.
Absolutely.
So fine by me, man. Good on Mike for getting that money.
If he got fired, went to Golden State, he would get paid, or they would take his
I think it's specific in the contract, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that specifically. But regardless, he could sit on the couch for another 3 years and make $10 million a year while watching the Knicks try and figure out their way to trade for Giannis when they don't have anything to trade for him.
Oh, by the way, Mustache Spider in the YouTube chat is now on your side.
Oh, well, I don't like that. I don't like that. We're like...
Mustache Spider, he likes it when you make him mad. Join the YouTube chat.
We're like rivals. We're rivals all the time. No, I love your Mustache Spider. I always appreciate the
It's like De'Aaron Fox. Sometimes you just got to say something to get him... I'm not going to finish the quote that Malik said, but...
Second to the Mike Brown stuff, excuse me, the Knicks were really good in Game 4. They dominated both sides of the ball. Defensively, they came out on fire. Karl Anthony Towns was really good.
Surprisingly, he's not disappointed me if you look at the full picture of what he's done right now in the first series.
Yeah, he was really good. He blew a layup, though, early in the game. I was like, oh, no. Yeah. Oh, God. And then he followed that up with, like, a huge barrage. He played really well. The Knicks and Hawks are tied now going back to the Madison Square Garden. I'm interested to see how the rest of this plays out. But the Mike Brown disrespect is ridiculous in my mind. Speeding through this really quick, injury bug is hitting the T-Wolves, man. Dante DiVincenzo tearing his Achilles. Like, he knew it right away, too. That's one of those plays. He's just making a basic step
that
you make all the time. And, like, just, ugh.
There was someone who listed out the amount of injuries, but what they all were. And to see how many have been Achilles lately is just kind of concerning.
Anthony Edwards has a bone bruise and a hyperextension in his knee. He will miss multiple weeks.
Not good.
Now, the good news is, unless you're Richie, our PD. The good news is the T-Wolves are up 3-1. What did you make of McDaniels breaking the unwritten rule? I know Richie's listening right now, and there's probably steam coming out of his ears. But when he hit that layup at the end of the game after it was won, and Jokic goes and grabs him by the shirt, and McDaniels just kind of smiling at him. Oh, I loved it.
I thought it was great.
I love this series so much. I'm just sad that Ant's hurt. I love it so much.
That's the thing. I want all of the guys to be a part of, like, these series. Like, I want the big names. You want all of that. Unfortunately, we've had a little bit of not that because we've also got Durant that is now not in the mix.
Yes.
They avoided getting swept, but
that's been weird too.
It's that whole Durant situation is a little odd.
Very weird. We'll try and get to that at some point today. Also, shout out to the Raptors. They've won 2 in a row to even the series with Cleveland. However,
but Pirtle's still not doing anything.
Well, Pirtle's not doing anything. Yeah. The Raptors won, even though they shot 32% from the field and 13% from three.
That was a rough game in terms of shooting for both teams.
It was an ugly game.
It was ugly to watch.
Defensive battle, and yet Keon Ellis only played 4 minutes.
Yep. And 0 points. I think he was 0 for 1.
So what is that? Like, what do we take from that? I think the Raptors are a bigger, longer team, so it makes sense that maybe Keon doesn't play as much. It was a defensive battle, though, and Keon didn't play.
He hasn't really played much.
But Keon also didn't play, and they lost. So is that an argument for him, against him? I don't know what to make of it, but we were all going to watch, curious to see what Keon would be, and he's not playing.
Yeah.
So we'll take the break. When we come back, TC, I see you on hold. Hang out with us. We will get you when we come back before we dive into Nick Wagner's favorite, 49ers draft grades, everybody. Plus, we'll hear more from General Manager John Lynch about his draft weekend. You're listening to Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
There are many reasons to choose Gonzalez Law Offices as a dedicated trial lawyer with an undefeated record from 2016 through 2019, and you'll know that no case is too big or too small. Due to his success, hard work, and commitment to excellence, attorney Jonathan Gonzalez has been listed in Super Lawyers Rising Stars, as well as in the top 40 under 40 list by national trial lawyers. You can find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call him at 916-304-9187.
If you're serious about getting better at golf, start with the fit. At Hagen Oaks, everything begins with Total Game Fitting. The TrackMan Player Performance Studio analyzes your swing to match you with the right clubs. Ping's Ballnamic Fitting helps you find the golf ball for your game. The Hagen Oaks Putter Fitting Studio helps you roll it true. And with FootJoy's 3D foot scanner, you'll walk the course in shoes that actually fit. From driver to putter and even what's on your feet, Hagen Oaks fits every part of your game. Total Game Fitting, only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80.
Sacramento, the custom capital of the world. The 75th Annual O'Reilly Auto Parts Sacramento Autorama returns to Cal Expo Fairgrounds May 1st through 3rd. $3 off general admission tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts. The West Coast Premier Car Show features over 500 of the finest custom cars, hot rods, trucks, motorcycles, and lowriders. Fun for the entire family. Autorama. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Sacramento Autorama. Cal Expo Fairgrounds May 1st through 3rd. $3 off general admission tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown, 411 16th Street, and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. And there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Naturewood Home Furnishings, Metro by T-Mobile, and A1 Appliance. More info at CITPFest.com.
Your Toyota's been through a lot with you. Traffic, rain, potholes, you name it. But it keeps showing up, mile after mile. So maybe it's time to give a little back. For a limited time at your local Toyota dealer, get 3 new tires and get the 4th for $1. Because a ride that's always there for you deserves to be taken care of. 3 tires, get the 4th for $1? Go on, treat your Toyota. Deal ends April 30th. Keep your Toyota a Toyota. Restrictions apply. Toyota and Scion vehicles only. See participating Toyota dealers for details.
This is the sound of Claire, cooking dinner at home. And that's the sound of a fraud alert from Wells Fargo, flagging a charge for a pricey restaurant in Paris. Considering Claire isn't in Paris right now, that seemed odd to the bank and to Claire. 2 taps later, Claire says nope to the charge, and Wells Fargo is on the case. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Getting back into NFL draft talk. Before that, though, TC kind enough to hold through the lunch break and the break. What up, TC?
Hey, what's up, big dog?
How you been?
Caleb, Matt, what's up?
What's up?
Hey, I kind of want to get on I don't know what the Niners was doing, man, with the whole trading down. Like, I really don't, man. But, I mean, y'all know where I stand at that, so I'm not going to beat that down. Y'all know where I stand. So I kind of want to get a little bit on the King situation, Matt, on the podcast that you and Alan had. I was just listening to it a little bit, and I was a little confused on the approach on that as far as the complaining from the younger players. And I said, you know what? We all know that. We all know it was kind of a bad season. They knew it was a bad season. Mm-hmm. I kind of don't need them to get on the airwaves in an interview saying that how effed up and how jacked up the season was. We all know that. I'd rather them get up there talking about how much they came together and how much they grew off this bad season and where they're going versus them getting on complaining to us after we're asking a bunch of questions. You get it?
Yeah,
so that's all
I got you, TC. I appreciate it. That's a good tease for our 1 o'clock segment. So we're going to have Kuka Hill, who's a good friend of mine from Locked On Pistons. Right. He's going to join us for a few minutes to break down because the Pistons are down 2-1 to OKC, to Orlando, and they're the number 1 seed. And I'm curious. We're going to gauge with Koo, like, what's the panic like in Detroit? What's going on with Detroit right now? Yeah. After that, we're going to dive into the conversation that TC is talking about. So what TC is referencing is Precious Achiuwa, Maxime Reynaud, and Nick Clifford appeared on the Old Man and the Three podcast last week. And one of the quotes that was pulled out there, Deuce Mason tweeted about it, is Precious started talking about like how much better the Kings situation was compared to some of the winning situations that he's been in his career. Allen, and it would be interesting, maybe this comes up during crosstalk, Allen felt a certain type of way about it, like we didn't need to hear it necessarily because I'm glad you had fun. Fans didn't necessarily have fun. Sure. I chose, and I don't know, TC, if you heard this as part of the segment or part of the interview, I said I was choosing to take it as a good thing. I was taking it as a culture thing. I think it's a major reason why Doug Christie kept his job. However, like that makes you feel good right now and makes you feel good at the end of a bad season that the young guys are feeling good together, but that's going to wear off pretty quickly going into training camp and everything next year. That was pretty much my takeaway from it, but I'm really interested to hear, Kayla, your thoughts on that. Again, we will do that at 1 o'clock, but that's what TC is referencing there. So looking forward to that. But right now, Kayla, why don't we hear a little more from Niners general manager John Lynch? The Niners had a lot of positions of need to address going into the draft. They addressed only a few of them. One that they did not address was the safety position. Here is John Lynch talking about not drafting a safety.
As for not drafting a safety, there were some guys that came off, and look, this thing's still going on. We've got some free agents and all that. We've got a group that we really do like, but kind of the way the board fell, it just didn't work out. And love what we were able to add. The work's not over.
That's the last part is what's intriguing to me. The work's not over. Okay, so late free agency, late trades. Now they opened up a lot of cap space for themselves, remember, with the moves that they made. So they definitely shouldn't be done. But the draft seemed like the greatest place to address some of these needs, Kayla, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, so this came out later yesterday. So according to the agency ISA Sports and Entertainment, which is a talent agency, the 49ers have supposedly signed free agent safety Patrick McMorris.
Okay.
Again, that's according to the agency ISA Sports and Entertainment. He was with the Dolphins previous, University of Cal. Obviously, in the 2024 draft, he was like a 6th-round pick. So we're not talking about a guy that is some plug-and-play right-away player, but maybe these are the little things they're talking about that, okay, we didn't draft a safety this year, but we just went out and got this safety who was a 6th-round pick in 2024. He had played at Miami at that point. So I don't know.
So there's something there maybe.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, it's, again, an interesting situation where I don't think that they do things like a lot of other teams do in terms of focusing on needs and getting those needs with a player that can go right away because they're comfortable with some of the other guys that they have in there. But this by means is not a move that you're like, oh yeah, that solves the problem.
Right.
I'm very curious as to why they didn't. Remember when we were talking about the Toledo safety that we said they could have also gotten with that 33rd overall pick? I can't remember the name of the guy, but he was a safety out of Toledo. Very highly regarded at that maybe top of the 2nd round. And I know that I had mentioned...
Where did he go?
Yeah, I had mentioned if it wasn't like a guy like Denzel Boston, that possibly they do go safety, because I know that was a position of need. And if you want it to be a guy that's going to come in right away and make a difference, you're going to look for those guys earlier than later.
Emmanuel McNeil Warren. He went to the Browns with the 58th overall pick.
So he, again, I mean, a guy that they could have had there, and clearly, his value wasn't that high. But again, they took a guy that wasn't even on a lot of draft boards in the 2nd round.
Yeah, this offseason still is very incomplete, and there's plenty of time for the Niners to still make some moves.
Yeah.
But the big areas to really add are over. There's still time to do more, but the big ad opportunities have passed, and you're still looking at, I see a gaping hole here, I see a gaping hole there, I don't see enough depth here. We'll see what John Lynch does.
Yeah, the running back thing is probably, to me, the more worrisome selection with Black out of Indiana. Again, that could surprise us, and we could be totally wrong. But
well, here is John Lynch talking about adding to the offensive and defensive fronts.
We feel really good about the mix that we have. We got some guys like Trent Williams who've been doing this at the highest level for a long time. And now you add some younger guys into that group, and same thing on the defensive line, where the last couple of years we've added a couple of players to join the guys. The Nick Bosa's, not talking like he's been around forever, but I think it's a good mix, and we want to be strong up front, and I think we are.
So they went defensive tackle in the 4th round with the 107th pick, Halton out of Oklahoma.
Yeah, which Nick Wagner, who joined us earlier, really likes that pick.
Then 2 offensive line picks. Carver Willis out of Washington, also in the 4th round with the 127th pick. And then they went Enrique Cruz Jr., offensive tackle out of Kansas. That was their last pick, the 5th round, 179th. So couple additions.
Yeah.
But largely developmental, less immediate impact.
Absolutely. Okay. I think that, and again, with having Trent Williams back, that's a good thing for them, but they have to start looking towards the future in terms of the offensive line. And when you get, I think like you said, that the top guy they got was round 4 guy, 127th. Again, a very seasoned guy. Carver Willis at Washington played 6 seasons in college. He's one of those guys that is probably likely going to be a backup swing lineman, probably going to play inside. So, again, maybe that's more of a depth piece in terms of where they were looking at. Starters are hard to come by in the line, but also guys can surprise you when you draft some of these guys, and they can end up being starters.
We compiled all of the draft grades, Nick Wagner's favorite, all of the draft grades from the experts, including Chad Reuter of NFL.com, gave the Niners an A-. Nate Davis of USA Today gave the Niners a B. Carter Bonds from CBS Sports gave the Niners a B-. Vinny Iyer of Sporting News also gave the Niners a B-. Nate Tice and Charles McDonald of Yahoo Sports, B-. And a C+ from Sports Illustrated. Mel Kiper gave them a C. So a C-. What's the lowest grade that they got here? Do we have a D- is the lowest grade that they got,
which was
from For the Win.
Okay.
Which I'm not 100% familiar with them. So they didn't like the Niners draft necessarily. They did get a D grade from Pro Football Focus.
What was their so PFF? Okay, that's interesting.
C- from The Ringer.
I did see there was and I can't remember who put out the tweet. I think it was NFL Stats. But they had one of the more athletic drafts, like when it came to athleticism in terms of their draft class. I think they were like 3rd on that list.
Interesting, because of the average age too. That's
I know,
pretty cool.
Right? So I thought that was interesting.
Interesting. Well, if you like draft grades, great. If you don't, great.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
a little higher than I thought they were going to get.
Truth be told, I was expecting a lot of C's and D's,
I
but
was too.
There's a decent amount of A's and B's in there. We'll take the break. When we come back, hey, it's not just Niners and Raiders. There's a lot that happened this weekend around the NFL bleeding into this week. Kayla's got us covered with her 2-minute drill. Coming up next, it's Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
After trading out of the first round, the 49ers finally got on the board, selecting Ole Miss wide receiver Dejon Stribling. With another weapon around Brock Purdy, have John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan put together a Super Bowl caliber offense. Your local sports leader, Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick, because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Breaking news for your home. Way Day is here. It's Wayfair's big sale, where you can score the best deals in home, like up to 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Way Day long. You won't find better deals for your home anywhere else. We're talking furniture, decor, rugs, and more, all at Wayfair, and all up to 80% off during Way Day. So Don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Wayday now through April 27th to score the best deals in home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Attention Roseville residents. This just in. Keeping your vehicle well-maintained doesn't just protect your car. It also protects your local waterways. This May, bring your used oil filter to a participating AutoZone location and receive a free new filter. Available every weekend in May. Recycle your used oil and filter the right way. For details and tips on proper oil and filter replacement, visit roseville.ca.us/oil. Funded in part by Cal Recycle. Limit 1 per customer. Maximum value is $9.99. Roseville residents only. Proof of residency is required at participating locations only.
It's time for the 2-minute drill. Kayla Anderson has the ball, and she's taking us around the world of football. It's Kayla's 2-minute drill on Matt and Kayla.
You know, a couple weeks ago, there was a period of time where I was like, you know, the NFL offseason doesn't feel as dominant as it normally is. Like, it feels like the NBA had, like, stolen the thunder a little. Oh, wait, it's draft week. All that's gone.
Yeah.
Here we are again.
Switcheroo.
NFL is king, and it's everywhere, and Kayla Anderson's got us covered. What's happening around the National Football League?
All right, it is time for the 2-minute drill. So I am going to take you around the league in terms of what we've not talked about on draft day. Maybe some of the bigger headlines that were not Niners or Raiders related.
Or Ty Simpson.
Or Ty Simpson related, because we have covered on him as well. So here we go. All right, how about this? Last man picked. We just love Mr. Irrelevant.
I love
don't
him.
We?
I love him.
We love it, and we know if you're a Niners fan, you appreciate it as well. Because Brock Purdy was one of those successful guys in 2023. Also, I must mention another very successful one, Ryan Suckup, the kicker that went to Tampa Bay in 2009.
Yeah.
He had an incredible career as well. So the Denver Broncos had the last pick in the NFL draft.
Don't like that part.
I know, 257th overall, and they decided to take linebacker Red Murdoch. Not my dog, Red Anderson.
Yay, Red.
But Red Murdoch.
I hope you do well on another team.
So here's the interesting thing about him. Sean Payton was actually really stoked about this pick. Not only did they have the 257th pick, they also had the 256th pick.
Oh, they got double irrelevant.
So they are like the first time or team since 1967 to hold the final 2 picks.
That's kind of fun.
Which I thought that was really, really cool. With the other pick, they took tight end, I think it was, is it Dalen Bentley? Dalen Bentley. I can't read my handwriting. Sorry, guys.
Do we think he's upset that he wasn't Mr. Irrelevant?
Probably.
I low-key
Because I'd rather be Mr. Irrelevant.
Don't they give you like a special jersey or something?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it, pick me one later.
I would, and they get more hype, right?
And they're fun. They're celebrated.
Exactly. By the way, tight ends, there were a lot of tight ends in this draft. So I think it's always fun to track some of these irrelevants. Like, some of them just never end up doing anything, but it is always interesting. But Sean Payton honestly raved about him. The linebacker coming out of, where was it that he was picked out of?
Buffalo,
yeah.
See, I'm a sucker for this stuff. I already told you.
I know you love
I'm
this.
a sucker for Hard Knocks.
Yes.
Hard Knocks always gets me.
Yes.
Always gets me to root for these young men that I have no idea who they are and won't really know them after Hard Knocks.
Are you going to watch?
Hard Knocks this year?
Because it's the Seahawks.
Yeah, of course I am.
Okay.
I watch every year.
I thought maybe because it was the Seahawks.
No,
you're
of course I am.
I'm not going to watch.
No, I am what Hard Knocks is made for. If the Broncos, Chargers, or Chiefs were on Hard Knocks, I would hate watch, but I would still watch, and I would still find ways to root for certain guys. I love Hard Knocks, and I love Mr. Irrelevant. Okay. I love underdogs to root for. I think it's just fun. They're great stories. So, hell yeah, go Red Murdoch. Well, kinda.
That's kind of a fun name, by the way.
Red Murdoch.
Red Murdoch?
Great sports name.
Dang. All right, how about this one? A new Steel quarterback. Could it be? Steelers take Penn State's Drew Aller in the 3rd round of this year's draft. Here's what's crazy, though. They don't know if Aaron Rodgers is coming back, right? They
Kick
also picked Will Howard, the Ohio State quarterback, last year in the draft.
Drama.
So he's on the roster. Also on the roster is veteran Mason Rudolph. So this is a very interesting philosophy. And again, Drew Aller was a 3rd-round pick. So you look at the Steelers right now, and it just feels like they are in quarterback purgatory because they can't seem to exactly figure out what they want to do because they can't move on yet because Aaron Rodgers is still in the mix.
Holding them hostage.
You have another guy from last year. Aller, by the way, played just 6 games last year. He was injured. He had an ankle injury. But during his time at Penn State, he was successful. He had 61 passing TDs, over 7,400 yards passing. But again, this is a project QB. It's not your future QB by any means.
Maybe.
I'm just wondering what the hell they're doing over there.
Getting as many darts as they
Dude,
can to throw at the board.
I think it's weird.
The more darts you have, the better chance you have a bullseye in theory. I don't know. I don't think it's going to work, but they're getting bullets.
The Steelers have confused me lately. Maybe that's why Mike Tomlin left, because he just left them with a pile of you-know-what and said, here, try to clean up after.
Never seen someone
you're out
leave
of
at a better
baggies.
time than Mike Tomlin.
Seriously. And he claimed yesterday on the broadcast to say that it was because of the lack of playoff success. Well, buddy, you're part of that.
Was he good?
Drew
on the
Aller?
No, was...
it was just a brief interview with Maria.
I didn't hear him. So was he good now that he's doing TV?
I can't tell yet.
Oh.
Like, it wasn't enough to showcase that. But I will say it was a little bit more laid back and relaxed than I've seen him as a coach at the podium.
Gotcha.
I learned more about Mike Tomlin, the person, in that
That's true.
5-minute interview than I had in 20 years of him as the coach. He was like, yeah, for the draft, me and some of my friends just watched it. I was like, you have friends?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's right, though. He said some things where I was like, I've never heard this come out of this.
You want to know who's a very close friend of
Who?
Mike Tomlin?
Who?
Scott Perry.
Are you kidding?
Scott Perry and Mike Tomlin are
Oh,
very close.
Because his dad was with the Steelers organization for a while, right? Or doing something along the line.
I think that was
Or
it.
from that area?
So Perry would always visit Tomlin at training camp every year, and I think this past year, he brought Doug Christie with him to hang out with Mike Tomlin.
That's cool.
If I might have that wrong, but Scott Perry is very
I've met
close
Mike
to Tomlin.
as well. Our former guy I was on the show with was a lineman for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So when we were at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, we snuck down on the field, and I wanted to meet Mike, so I met Mike.
Was he cool?
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
I shook his hand and gave him that. I have a firm handshake, so hopefully he was impressed by that.
He's going to be awesome on television. I already know it.
I think so,
I'm
too.
looking forward to it.
At least to correct it, he's probably going to be better than Tony Dungy on television.
Yes, I would agree with
low
that.
bar.
So what do you guys think about this? New signal caller in the desert, question mark? Carson Beck
Let's go.
was the first quarterback besides, obviously, Ty Simpson, who went 13th overall to the Rams. He is the second quarterback off the board. He goes to Arizona. So the big question is, could we see Carson Beck possibly win this job? And could we see a half and half, really young NFC West in terms of quarterback?
This is the route that they should go. This is the route they need to go. Listen, Arizona, they suck. We know this. They're going to get drowned in the best division in football.
Yep.
You've got Love. Get Carson Beck with him. Try and establish your Jackson Dart, Cam Scattaboo, hype train duo like the New York Giants did. Now, the Giants are a little more relevant.
Right.
But, what do you have to lose other than getting them killed because your offensive line sucks? Don't do that. But I'm
Now
all
you've
for
got,
this.
Yeah, Jeremiah Love there.
I instantly care more about Cardinals football, which isn't a lot, but I instantly care more if I'm watching Carson Beck and Jeremiah Love playing together versus whoever the hell they bring out. I'm all for this. Do it, Cardinals.
No, I'm not against it either. I don't love Carson Beck. I was very critical of him at Georgia.
So he's going to be a
critical.
Seahawk in 3 years.
Yeah, right? Now, to be fair, I think he redeemed himself at Miami that year he was there. He
Yep.
wasn't perfect by any means. I think Carson Beck's biggest issue that he has to get rid of is himself. And I say that as Carson Beck gets in his own head. Carson Beck needs to start thinking freely as a quarterback. And I'm afraid that if it hasn't happened by now, it might not happen. But the NFL's a fresh start.
Isn't
It could be
Arizona
different.
is Arizona a good place to do that? Because you're going to lose a lot. You might get beat up a lot.
And the fan base is not crazy,
But
right? They're not
time is
New
on your
York.
side. No one in
Yeah.
Arizona is looking at the NFC West right now and going, we're anywhere close. Just
he might be
take their
finally
time.
not feeling the pressure like he has his whole career
Right.
in college, where he was expected to be at the top of the mountain.
I love it. Carson
it's
Beck
not
and
bad.
Jeremiah Love, day one in Arizona. Sign me up.
Also, Arizona's offense is awesome because they got Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride
Come
and Michael
on.
Wilson.
I'm all for it. Lean into the fact that you suck, but you might be a little bit entertaining. Go for it.
Okay, so I'm interested on your guys' thoughts on this. New York City drama. So, you know, the great wide receiver that unfortunately got injured last year, Malik Neighbors.
Yep.
The guy from the IHOP commercials.
Yes. So he was on a podcast with Micah Parsons during the draft.
Oh, boy.
And it was like all live, right? They were like streaming it, whatever. And so when the 5th pick overall was made, and it was Arvell Reese, Ohio State's Arvell Reese, that went to New York, to the Giants, he pretty much says he didn't think that was the right pick. He goes, I love Reese, but where is he going to play? You want him to be on the outside, but we just drafted someone to that position last year. And so it was this whole thing that got blown up because it's New York. Like, of course, a comment like with your star wide receiver is going to get blown up. I guess John Harbaugh had to step in. He had to talk with Malik Neighbors because they didn't want it to be out there like this was some negative thing. To me, it was just them freely talking and giving his honest opinion during the draft. It doesn't mean he doesn't like Arvell Reese or he's not going to be great teammates to him. It was just his honest opinion at the time in the moment.
It's a very fair question. I understand why it can be misconstrued or taken or reacted to in that way. I don't think there's any harm in that question at all.
Either. And the answer, just being honest.
And is he saying, he's not saying, well, like what a bad draft pick by us. It's a genuine curiosity of like having more talent at a position is never a bad thing.
No.
And as an offensive player, he's looking at this defensive signing and going, draft pick and going like, okay, how is this going to work?
Well,
I get a front row seat to seeing how it's going to work.
And guess what? He's thinking what many of us thought wherever he would have went. And I just talked to Kyle about this in the break. Arvell Reese is an extremely incredible talent. Again, we're talking about like high ceiling. Like we talk about Peterson all the time, like high ceiling, right? Like where could he get to? The sky's the limit. Arvell Reese is one of those guys, but he is also a project of where exactly are you going to put him or how are you going to utilize him? Some teams can handle that. Some teams, it is more of a question of how you're going to handle that. And I think that was all that he was saying.
This is the thing about sports media, as obviously part of sports media, that drives me crazy. We say we want them to say how they really feel, and then they say it, and then we blow it up.
Right.
Now, this is why they don't say anything.
Right.
This is why they give us cookie-cutter crap.
He wasn't like, I hate Arvell Reese. I can't stand that guy. I can't stand that he's a New York Giant.
He just starts booing. Boo! Right. Waste of a pick.
Yeah, I guess Harbaugh handled it, though, so
there's no reason to handle it, but I know how New York media gets. We'll take the break. When we come back, let's check in with Detroit media. Good friend of mine, Kuka Hill. He hosts Locked On Pistons. He doesn't shy away with how he's feeling when the Detroit Pistons are playing, both good and bad. Is there panic in the Motor City with the Pistons being down 2-1 to the 8th seed Magic? Koo will talk to us about that for a few minutes, and then we'll get Kayla's thoughts on Precious Achua's positive comments from the Old Man of the Three podcast last week. You're listening to Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Hey, did you hear about that multi-billion-dollar Roundup settlement?
Yeah, it impacts people who are exposed to weed killers at work or at home, even if you just used it in your own yard. Lawsuits claim it causes non-Hodgkin lymphoma, a blood cancer.
But we're not sick, so that doesn't affect us.
But it does. This cancer can take 10 to 15 years to show up.
That's a long time after exposure.
It is, and that's why the settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you get sick, even years from now, you could get $6,000 to $165,000 or more as part of the settlement.
So what's the catch?
If you stay in, you give up the right to sue them later.
Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 1-888-403-8201. If you or a loved one has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, even if they've passed, you must register for benefits. That's weedkillerclass.com. 1-888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
No way. Gas prices shot up again.
I know, but I got us covered.
So generous. What's your deal?
What's my deal? I went to Metro and saved. Got 4 lines for just $25 each and 4 free new Samsung Galaxy A17 5G phones, and all on the T-Mobile network.
Ah, how about we go to Metro today?
Get that more for your money feeling. Visit your Metro by T-Mobile store. Just bring your numbers. Not available if you've been with Metro or T-Mobile in the past 180 days.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown, 411 16th Street, and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
KHD KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
Someone hit the panic button. Panic. Everybody panic. Detroit, they're down 2-1. What's going on in the Motor City? What the hell's happening with Jalen Duren? That's what I'm curious about. And to help answer some of these questions, this guy has been a friend of mine for a long time. I'm so proud of him. I worked with him for many years on the Locked On Podcast Network. He hosts Locked On Pistons. It's Kuka Hill for the first time joining us here on Matt and Kayla. Koo, I miss you, my friend. It's good to have you on the show. I wish it was under better circumstances. What's going on with your Pistons, bro?
Matt, long time no see, man. Long time no see. I am the level of shock that I think is in the Detroit community based on how these first 3 games have went, I think are unexplainable, to be honest. There's a lot of people are shocked, including the players, I think, about how this has went through 3 games.
What is it specifically? I mean, it can't just be one thing necessarily, but I mean, I'm sure you've seen this and combated it online. Oh, the lights are too bright. The playoffs are a different beast. But it's not like you're getting beat up by the Knicks or Cavs or these experienced teams. It's Orlando that's doing it. Like, what is it really that you're seeing that's just different from the Pistons of the regular season so far not translating to the Pistons of the playoffs?
There's 2 things specifically, and the first one I'll answer with is, I want to put it ahead of time that I do understand it seems like I'm dogpiling on them, but I mean, it's just kind of unavoidable. Jalen Duren is performing so far below what anyone could have expected. It's almost remarkable. This is a guy who was averaging around 23 and 10 the last 25 or so games of the year. You saw him take a big jump as a self-creator, scoring his own buckets, not needing to be just a play finisher. This is a guy who was isolating. He was scoring on drives at the same level of efficiency as Giannis this year. Like, he was insane this year as a scorer, and that's why a lot of people in Detroit, when people will talk about, well, who's going to be Cade's second option, who else is going to score, you talk to anyone around the team, they're like, well, we have someone. It's Jalen Duren. And through 3 games, he's averaging 9 points a game. He's shooting 41% from the field. He's getting thoroughly dominated by Wendell Carter Jr., who Wendell's a good player. He may be an underrated player, but Wendell's not Gobert, Jokic, insert whoever. The fact that he's getting this thoroughly outplayed has absolutely killed the Pistons. They did not see this coming. If he simply just plays an okay game, they probably feel like they might be up 3-0. Instead, he's just been completely dominated by Wendell Carter Jr. to the point where JB in the last game benched him for Paul Reed. And no one could have seen that. And the other thing is just their defense. Everyone knew that their offense was going to be a little bit of a struggle. Everyone knows the struggles of their shooting. Everyone knows that. It's been the case all year, but it hasn't mattered because their defense has been one of the best defenses we've seen the last 5 years. And while in the playoffs it hasn't been terrible, it has to be great for them in order for them to win games. They're not going to win with their offense. They're going to win with their great defense. And they have not been nearly close to the defense that we saw throughout the season. And both those things have been incredibly shocking and concerning.
Yeah, and we know, obviously, Cade Cunningham missed 11 games with that collapsed lung, came back in time for the first round of the playoffs. How do you feel like he has been in terms of getting back on the court? And by any means, does that mess with anything when you are without your star for a chunk of games and then you go right into the playoffs and he returns, which is a good thing? But is there any way like that throws things off in any way, getting back to having your star player back on the court?
Yes, but it was viewed, again, a lot of the people around the organization I talked with viewed it as almost a silver lining, as almost like a good thing that ended up coming out of it was Jalen Duren took on this crazy scoring load and this individual creation and was great with it. Dana Jenkins stepped up and was playing insane in this new creation role. And there was a feeling within the organization like, okay, obviously as long as Cade's back for the playoffs, maybe we just discovered two other guys now that we can now rely on to provide some kind of creation, some kind of offense for the team in the playoffs. And both of those guys have completely disappeared. I mean, Danis might not play tonight. They might go with Karis LeVert over him, which is something I can't believe I'm saying right now. But that's how bad he's been. And we just got done talking about how poorly Jalen Duren has. This is the play of those two guys, specifically Jalen Duren, has really killed this team and really put them in a position of we might be on the precipice of being one of the more embarrassing one seeds in NBA history. I mean, it's a tough situation. The series not over. But in regards to Cade has been great. This past game, he had 9 turnovers. That's unacceptable. He's turned the ball over way too much. But outside of that, I mean, game 1, he was phenomenal in the second half. Played a 10-minute stretch that I thought looked like the best in the league. And game 2 was incredible. In game 3 that they lost, they were down 15 beginning of the fourth quarter, and then Cade just erupts and brings them all the way back. They take the lead with 2 minutes left, and a lot of us thought that was it. They were going to put the Magic away, and then Franz responds with 2 big-time shots. So Cade himself has been good, but a lot of the thought was Cade missing games actually was going to end up being a good thing for them.
Cool. Let's play out Kuka Hill joining us from Locked On Pistons, breaking down this stunning Pistons down 2-1 going into Game 4 tonight against the Magic in Orlando. Cool. Let's play out the worst case scenario here. The Pistons lose in the first round. So, it doesn't matter how many games they lose in the first round. That's definitely going to be a tough pill to swallow. It's going to sting all summer long. But again, the rise of the Pistons this year was pretty exceptional. And regardless of being a number 1 seed, I know there are plenty of other teams in the East that probably should have been looked at and now are looked at as more title favorites, or at least Eastern Conference champion favorites over the Detroit Pistons. My point is, this obviously isn't looked at to be necessarily the ceiling, like one or done. They have to do it, championship or bust this year. But what, in your mind, would be the reaction, not just from Pistons fans, but from the Detroit organization, if this team were to lose in the first round? How much do you think that impacts and causes major shifts or major changes this offseason to improve this team?
Matt, all the people I've talked to throughout the year, especially towards the end of the year, there was a lot of, and I spoke about this on my podcast a lot, there was a lot of understanding from within the organization that they probably were not going to make the finals. If they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, that's great.
Yeah.
But I got the feeling that they were very much okay with just getting to the second round and playing hard, and if they lost to whoever, I mean, this was still a great season. There was not at one point I feel like that they ever expected they would not make it out of the first round. So I have no clue what losing the first round would do. I don't think it was a possibility or something they were even thinking could be a possibility. If they were to lose in round 1 and the play of Duren continued, I think that would have to be number 1 topic. He's up for an extension this offseason. He's going to be a restricted free agent. And going into the playoffs, there was a lot of talk based on how he played that he was going to command over $250 million on his next extension or his next contract. I think Jalen Duren can turn it around. He's way too good to be playing like this. He's way too talented to be playing like this. I think he can turn it around. But if the Pistons lose this series, that means he didn't. And if he doesn't, I have to assume there's going to be at least some hesitation or at least some kind of talk about, do we pay this guy and how much should we want to pay him? I think that would be number one on the list of, okay, we got to talk about this. And the next thing is, and this would be, this is very depressing, man. I can't believe you're making me talk about this.
I'm so sorry, Coop.
The next thing would have to be that there would have to be a lot of reflection on, was this team actually as good as they thought they were this year? I mean, this was a season when obviously they won 60 games, the first time they've done it in 20 years, first time they've been a 1 seed in 20 years. This is a team that had expectations of at least making it to the second round and thought they were. A lot of the talk I had heard was, we're in a good spot as long as we have Cade Cunningham, Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren. We'll be contending for years to come. And if they lose in the first round, I mean, I'm not saying that's not the case. These guys are still very young. But I think you got to at least sit back and think, okay, were we right in thinking about that if we can't even make it out of the first round in a season like this? I think this would be pretty catastrophic if they didn't make it out the first round.
How much do you think, too, when we think about this matchup and, Orlando kind of limped a little bit coming into the play-in and everything, and they weren't healthy the whole amount of the season. Do you feel like with them, too, maybe there was a little bit of underestimating this team once they fully got healthy? Obviously, it's loaded with talent.
Yeah, I think for sure there was a level of, I think game one, the Magic came in and punched the Pistons in the mouth, and they were not expecting that. I think not just the Pistons. I think the whole NBA community did not expect the Magic to show up and really do much because of how they played the previous 83 games. So this is a team that's obviously, they're healthier now. A lot of their guys, you talk to some of the people in their community, a lot of them say that they're not completely 100%. Franz is still trying to get back to where he was, Suggs, Anthony Black. But everyone's playing for the most part, and this is the first time it's happened for a long time. And there was a level of underestimation by the Pistons, but I think even with that, the Pistons should be the better team here. This is offensive concerns aside, the Orlando Magic are also not a good offense. And the Pistons, again, I'll mention it, the Pistons defense this year is one of the best defenses we have seen in recent years, and that is really what's laying them down here. I mean, I walked into the series after game one, they lost. And I remember going on the podcast and I was saying, look, the Pistons may struggle to score, but I refuse to believe that they are going to lose 4 games of this team, because this is the second best defense in the NBA behind the Oklahoma City Thunder, with a big gap between them and the Spurs according to defensive rating. And this is an offense of the Orlando Magic that was middle of the pack and 17th in half-court offense. This should not be a team that is able to press a defense like this. Even if the Pistons offense does struggle, the Magic should not be able to score enough against this type of defense. It's not like you're going against the Knicks or the Celtics. The defense should be able to carry you here. And it did in game 2 in the third quarter. It was tremendous. But then in game 3, they allowed 61 points in the first half to the Magic. And that's just some of the more shocking, even more shocking maybe than Jalen Duren's play, is that the Pistons haven't just completely flexed their muscle defensively on the Magic and have allowed them to go on these spurts where they look like a good offense.
Cool, because you're my guy, I'm going to leave you with a positive, all right? I'm going to leave you with a silver lining. You ready for this? Take this in. I believe if the Pistons win tonight, they're winning the series. I think so. I think they're going to win, tie it up 2-2, then they're going to win this series. But if they don't, if they lose tonight and lose the series, don't worry. We got a Zach LaVine or Domantas Sabonis right here waiting for you, my friend. Just say the word. Well, we got it. We'll pay the flight, all right?
The trade machines will definitely be going in Detroit.
Koo, you're the best. If you have any interest in anything going on with the Detroit Pistons, which you should right now with them being in the playoffs, check out Koo Cahill and the Locked On Pistons podcast. He's also just a fantastic NBA follow on X and on social media. Koo, it's so good to talk to you, my friend. Hopefully it's under better circumstances. I'm rooting for your boys because they've been a fun story. All right, so appreciate you, my friend, and good luck tonight.
Appreciate you, Matt.
All right, that's the great Koo Cahill from Locked On Pistons. I say good luck tonight like he's playing. Suit up, Koo!
Right?
Go play some defense. Help Jalen Duren out. It's always great to talk to Koo. Let's switch gears, though, to the Sacramento Kings. Kayla, I've been looking forward to getting your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
So I did a podcast about this over the weekend with Alan Stiles because I heard Alan talking about this with Whitey Gleason on Friday. And Alan had kind of a negative reaction to this. My initial reaction to this was actually pretty positive, but I understood where Alan was coming from. So Precious Achiuwa who's not a Sacramento King as of right now, Maxime Reynaud and Nick Clifford, 3 of the Bean Boys, were on the Old Man and the 3 podcast. It did feel like they were very much missing Dylan Cardwell. I don't know if he was available or not. But it's a really good podcast. Really good conversation, great personality. You can tell how much these 3 genuinely enjoy each other. And Deuce Mason took and typed up one of the quotes from this podcast, which is one of many takeaways. There's a lot of good stuff here. I encourage everybody to go and listen to it if you have some time. So this is from Precious Achua. I've been on a lot of winning teams, and it hasn't been as fun. Our record does not reflect the camaraderie of everyone. It's that joy of, hey, we're going to go out there and give our best. It's not like or always like that everywhere else. So Precious Achua, who again is a free agent, he already talked to us while the season was still going on that he'd like to be back in Sacramento, but financially, I don't know. I think he's getting a decent contract somewhere. Hopefully it's in Sacramento, but we don't know how the Kings are going to come up with the money to do that. The vibes at the end of the season were obviously a lot better than at the middle part of the season, to say the very least. And the young guys, the way they were playing, the Bean Boys. And it's funny that Precious is lumped into the young guys because he's not old, but he's not a rookie.
Yeah, he's 27?
But he very much vibes with them.
Sure.
Not that it's a veteran versus young guys thing, but Precious definitely is part of that group, kind of the younger guys' future look group. What did you, hearing those comments, reading those, what is your takeaway? What is your initial reaction to hearing comments like that from Precious based off of this entire King season that we just went through?
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise, you and I are probably going to be on more of the same page than Alan is on this subject. And nothing against Alan. No. Alan just looks at it in a different way. When I hear comments like that, I've been very, very clear on my, I guess, not surprise of how the culture was kept with this team this year, but I have been clear on giving props to Doug Christie and giving props to the team itself.
Right.
By keeping themselves out of the media, by not letting things leak. I've said this for the last 3 months. Staying together. Because I think sometimes it goes very underestimated because, yes, the first thing you want to do and you need to do as a franchise and as a team is you want to win. And I'll guarantee you every single one of those players, that's the first thing that they'll say.
Sure.
We want to win. But the second thing that they'll say is we want to enjoy it. We want to have fun. Basketball is a job, yes, for them, but it is also what they love to do and what they pour their lives into doing. And I know they get paid a lot of money to do it, but they also are scrutinized a lot too. They step into that role. With saying that, when I hear a guy like Precious Achua, who is on his couch, who nobody at the time, if there's a deeper story or not, maybe we'll find out down the road. But the point was he was on his couch. He did not have a team. He was given an opportunity to come on the Sacramento Kings team and do something. And unfortunately, it did not end up being winning altogether for this team. But for individual players, we saw some incredible growth. With him specifically, he found himself in this season. And whether or not it's his opportunity was given because of other guys were injured, whatever, I don't give a damn. He was given an opportunity. He made the most of it. He made an impact in wins. And he said he had fun doing it.
Yeah.
To me, that's a real positive thing. By the way, it's a positive look on the organization when you have guys that might come here, or I know it's a hard place to get free agents, but when you have stories like this, where you have a guy that said, hey, he had a really good individual year. Yes, it might not have been a win as a whole, but he actually enjoyed it too. Even when there were losing kind of vibes going on, I don't believe that they went out there and tried to lose a game ever. I believe all these players wanted to win. It just wasn't in the cards this year, unfortunately.
To my frustration, they didn't.
Yeah, so I actually really liked what he had to say.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's like, oh, everybody, let's give hugs, like it was all perfect. That's not what he was trying to say. I think what he was trying to say was, I have been on winning teams where we might have won, but we might have hated each other, or it might have been really bad in the locker room. And I guess on the outside you could say, yeah, but those teams won. I think for the future of this team, this is a good look because you want to have the culture first. You're going to have to build off of something. And if it looks like people or teams or players are enjoying themselves here, that's what they can start to build on. And then, yes, that can start to lead to winning. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I get Allen has his own thoughts on this type of stuff. I don't know exactly what he said.
Yeah, I'm not going to misrepresent. You can go back and listen to the podcast or listen to their show, and they might even talk about it again today, or we might bring it up during crosstalk. Allen is very much not saying that they enjoyed losing. He's very much not saying that they were like, oh, we lost. Oh, well, we're all friends. Okay. That's not what he's saying, and so I want to make sure he's not misrepresented in that way by me in the setup here. I think Allen's whole point was, okay, we keep hearing how much fun you're having, but you're a 22-60 team. Yeah. Allen's major point was, well, I'm glad you had fun because nobody else did.
Okay.
The fans didn't have fun. The media didn't have fun. And I think ultimately Allen's point is like he wants it to sting a little bit more so that the results will change, so that like real change is happening.
Yeah.
So my reaction to that is, well, I was there in the press conference rooms after losses, and Maxime Reynaud would come to the podium after having a good game, and Max wasn't thrilled. Like, guys weren't thrilled because they want to win basketball games. They're competitors, of course. I am choosing to look at it as a positive because, in my opinion, this is one of the major reasons why, and I don't even think it's an opinion based off of some of the things Scott Perry said. This is a major reason why Doug Christie is still the head coach of the Kings.
Oh, yeah.
Some people want to say it's because they don't want to pay another head coach. They're barely paying Doug Christie as it is. He's getting $1 million or something like that, which is a lot to us. It's not a lot to a league. So that's not the primary reason to keep Doug around. This group stayed together. The young guys played better at the end, and that's what led to the relationships that I think Precious Achiuwa is talking about here. I agree with Allen. I don't want this team to be complacent or happy with being a 22-60 team.
But I don't think they are.
I don't think they are either. If you're going to struggle, you want to try and find a way to be positive about it. If we're going through a hard time content-wise, we don't want to come on the air and be negative and miserable the entire time. So I look at it as a positive, Kayla, that they stuck together, that they grew together, that they found a way at the end of a very difficult season to not make it not matter, make the most of their opportunity, and grow. I think that chemistry suggests that hopefully the relationship between those three, and let's add Dylan Cardwell into that mix, hopefully that means that those guys love each other enough to where they can hold each other accountable when training camp begins. If they're getting together for off-season workouts, they can hold each other accountable to this isn't good enough or we need to do this. I hope that this is that friendship and that relationship, that trust that they've built, and even add Doug Christie into this, the trust that they have between Doug Christie and them when it's time to get to work and it's time to put their head down and address some of the demons that haunt this organization, they'll stick together through it, but hold each other accountable to actually get through it. That's how I'm choosing to look at it.
I look at it like this. Would you rather have Precious Achiuwa come out in this podcast and said, yeah, man, we hate losing. Like, that's fine, right? We hate losing, but this was horrible. Like the locker room was just miserable. Like, we didn't feel like we got along. We had no fun at all. Like, I just feel like if that were what he came out and said, I'm just thinking, well, not only are they losers, but they have no commonality in terms of how to stay together when the tough gets going, because that's going to happen a lot. To me, I would have been more disappointed in that type of reaction than I was with him saying, like, to me, I don't take it as I'm okay with losing. That's not how I take it.
No.
There is no way one of those guys are okay with losing and losing that much. But also look at it and who said it. It was Precious Achiuwa, who was sitting on his couch, who was looked over, who came into this and I think in ways maybe at times surprised himself in how he played. So Precious is also looking at the overall picture of the season, and part of it is individual pride in what he did. And yes, he would like to win as a team, I'm sure, but he also is happy with what he did as well as an individual.
Going back to what you said, the first part there, I think Allen even said as much, like he would like to have heard more of that, like it bothered us. Because
Yeah.
I think Keegan Murray, Alan referenced Keegan Murray talked about how much this season sucked. But remember, think about the perspective of Keegan compared to Precious. Precious went from on his couch to putting up really good numbers as a starter to where he's going to have a spot in the league. There's no way he's not on a team and not making, I think he's going to make more than the vet minimum, which he made in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Keegan just got paid, but had a lost season riddled with injury. So the messenger already matters. I will say this to Kings fans who said, I would have rather have heard that to what you're talking about. I think that's because it would be validating your feelings and your frustration as a fan of that season sucked. But think about the reaction to that. I think I agree. But then now that starts raising the alarm bells of, then why are they keeping Doug Christie? It would have been a worse thing, even if it validated your feelings in the moment.
But we already know that they stunk.
Right.
We we saw it every night. I had to watch the games.
Right. Yeah. Joey wants to weigh in on this before we go to break. What up, Joey?
Hey, what up, guys? Hey, Matt, you've been around a while. Kayla, you're new to the team. So being around for as long as us as fans have watched this team lose and lose, when we had that one sporadic greatness in the early 2000s with the Weber and the Williams, I mean, that was encouraging. But 16 years, 17 years later, it's just the same thing. And then to be told to our faces as paying customers, we're not trying to lose. We're not bull. It's exactly what you guys did. And if you guys would have came out, I think us as fans, we don't like to be slapped in the face to be able to act. We don't know because we see exactly what's going on, but to be told that it's not being done on purpose is another thing. So I feel if general manager would have came on and said, look, I know this is going to hurt. You're not going to like my response. We're not going to try to win to get better in the draft, period. And you know what? That right then and there, the fans would be able to make their choice as far as to spend their money. Of course, he's not going to say because Levesque doesn't want fans not to spend their money.
Yeah, Joe, I appreciate the call. I disagree with Joey in the sense that I do believe that they didn't want to lose because I got frustrated as hell that they won some games that they should not have won in terms of draft lottery odds. But I also get Joey's point in. When Scott Perry, who inherited much of this roster, put this roster together, how much did he believe they were actually going to be as good as maybe others thought they were going to be versus how much was he going, we got to just get these couple of years over with, clean up these books, and then I can start to build, right? So that I agree with, I think Joey was alluding to that. Kind of agree with that side of what he was talking about. So looking forward to talking about that more with Alan Stiles and Whitey Gleason as they will take over. Alan is here in the building, the MC of the River Cats himself. Looking forward to chatting with him.
What, is he in the back room?
About that. He's chilling with Kyle over there. When we come back, though, it's time for our MLB mini-series update, and we got our first back-to-back champ, y'all.
Oh, God.
Kayla's not happy about it.
Yeah, but he technically didn't pick him.
All right, well, let's get the controversy on. It's our MLB mini-series coming up in the next break before Crosstalk with Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles. You're listening to Matt and Kayla on a very busy but fun Monday here, Sactown Sports.
The 49ers and Raiders have completed their 2026 draft classes. Did San Francisco answer its most pressing roster questions? Have the Silver and Black surrounded their new franchise guy with enough help in year one? Tune into Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com for up-to-the-minute NFL draft insight. Your local sports leader, Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the sound of Jack, buzz cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack, every time he cuts his own hair, that's $50 right in his pocket. If Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy, Wells Fargo is right behind him. And with their mobile app, tracking his savings is easy. Oh, ouch. However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Imran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby insight and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento! Now you got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance Vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
Buying golf gear is easy. Buying the right golf gear, well, that's different. At Hagen Oaks, they don't just sell equipment, they fit your entire game. With TrackMan technology in the Player Performance Studio, your clubs are matched to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Fitting helps you find the golf ball that performs best for you. Hagen Oaks Putter Fitting Studio dials in your stroke, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds correct shoe size for your feet. It's a smarter way to play better golf. Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Naturewood Home Furnishings, Metro by T-Mobile, and A1 Appliance. More info at CITPFest.com.
Is the volatility of the stock market driving you crazy? Is your retirement account sinking, yet you're getting older and you're starting to worry about, will I have enough for retirement? What about the money in the bank? These banks pay nothing these days. How do we get growth to get to retirement account? It's simple. Move into gold and silver. Want to know how to do it? Listen to my show, Striking Gold, with me, Kenny Michaels.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
In conversation with Dr. Bob Jones IV, I asked him what the most significant contribution his grandfather Bobby Jones had made to the world of golf. Jones IV replied that there's no part of the game as we know it today that was not in some way influenced by Bobby Jones, and called him the most singularly important individual to have played the game. Why do we have 4 major championships? Because Bobby Jones won 4. When the professionals wanted to add a 4th professional major, they chose the Masters, a tournament founded by Bobby Jones on the course Jones built at the club he co-founded. Jones IV says the USGA's highest honor is the Bob Jones Award for Sportsmanship. Bobby Jones changed equipment, he changed golf writing, he created golf instructional videos in 1932 that are still state-of-the-art today, and he did all this without forgetting the average golfer. No part of the game has not had the mark of Bobby Jones, says his grandson Bob Jones IV, and no argument here. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
Baseball's stupid. Not really.
I mean, your A's are in first place
I
in
know.
the division, and you're saying baseball's stupid?
That part of baseball's fun.
My goodness, they're back home.
They are back home. The Royals and
Let's
the Guardians.
go.
I'm excited.
Right, go watch some A's baseball.
First place A's.
Yeah.
Took 2 out of 3 against the stinky Rangers in Texas, and your boy Leiter, or whatever the hell. I don't know if they faced him or not. I genuinely don't remember.
Hey, don't be dissing on my Jack Leiter.
I very much will. You cheered for him when he was against the A's, and I didn't like it.
You needed, though, I believe, that win that day.
Well, I was already out of it after Friday.
Oh.
Because your damn Mariners beat the Cardinals. So I was already out of it. Well, I was already extra out of it because, well, our reigning defending champion, now 2 weeks in a row, even though he's actually here to hold the trophy this week, is Kyle Ledbetter. Kyle Ledbetter, ladies and gentlemen.
What?
Kyle Ledbetter went from having the worst record by far.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't close. He had the worst
Well,
record.
then you didn't have to say that.
No. Listen, I'm getting there. You had the worst record by far. Like, it was not close. You now have the best overall record in the league. You're 12-11, and Kayla and I are both 11-12.
So I went away for a week and a half and won 2 championships somehow.
Let's be clear. If anyone, they were putting on me an asterisk. They were putting an asterisk on me because I had to pick a game on a Saturday. By the way, Matt also had to do that.
I did.
It's only
okay.
I pulled a Kayla.
You're all gonna have to eventually do it. Just wait.
I pulled a Kayla.
Well,
you
I
did it
won't.
2
Let
weeks
me
in a
tell
row.
you.
For an asterisk to be put on my name, the fact that Kyle did not even pick his team.
That's a good point.
And we're praising it
That's a
like
good point.
it's like him.
Whitey, should we create a new rule that if you're not here, you can't win? Whitey's all for it. He's the commissioner. All right.
Okay.
Null and void.
Well, I'm first going to collect this trophy on behalf of my win from 2 weeks ago because I was not here last week to ever hold the trophy. And By the way, I was dumping on you guys for being like, oh, it's just a trophy. It's very nice.
It is very nice.
And it's nice to have it in my hands.
It changes your life when it's in your hands, like a baby.
I want you to know that while you weren't here to collect it, we kept it in here, and Kayla was rocking it.
It needed some love.
That's acceptable.
It was abandoned.
She had her asterisk championship, so it's nice that you got.
Well, you've got one now too, brother.
Well, no, this one I won fair and square. The second one, which the trophies disappeared. Now to claim my second trophy, I claim this on behalf of Anthony and Ramsey, who killed it last week, going 5-0.
We're not having guest pickers anymore. All right.
I am the first and only legitimate 2-time champion here. I just wanted to be acknowledged there.
No, yours is asterisk too, right?
What do you mean? No, I hit both of them. I won fair and square.
Oh yeah, that's right. You should be a 3-time champion.
I should be a 3-time champion, but we gave Kayla the one time.
No.
Anthony and Ramsey, congratulations! It's so hard to go 5-0 in this game.
Yeah, that's true.
Raise your hand if you've been a 2-time champ.
Oh God.
Kayla, your hand's not up. What happened?
Do you want me to still play this game? Because it's going to be real freaking boring.
Okay, raise your hand if you haven't had to pick a team on Saturday.
You're about to jinx yourself.
Kayla's gonna fire everybody like it's the Boston Red Sox.
I am, and guess what? They're gonna be one of my picks, so don't you dare take them.
Well, you're not supposed to say that because now I'm definitely going to do that.
No, it's my idea.
Well, Kayla, you actually do.
It's the interim boost.
Well, okay, hold on. Everyone relax. Kayla, because you're the biggest loser this week, you are going to get the first pick.
I'm taking the Red Sox.
Well, hold on.
So you're going to take the worst team in baseball?
Yes, it's called the interim boost. Have you heard of it? When a team fires its coach, i.e. Alex Cora, and a coach comes in, or a manager, I should say, in baseball, they get a little boost. I don't know why. I don't know why it's a thing, but it happens.
Okay, Kayla, you cannot draft the Cubs, Blue Jays, Padres, Rays, or the Brewers.
Yeah.
You are going Red Sox with your first pick.
Correct.
The Red Sox are playing the Blue Jays this week.
Exactly. Just you can laugh all you want. It's a real thing.
Look, this game clearly has taught me that there's just no way to know. So, you might be right.
Kayla, I give you permission when you pick the Blue Sox. When you pick the Red Sox and they win, you can take the biggest victory. You're taking the Red Sox today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you can take the most loud, obnoxious victory lap.
So I'm gonna get up in the studio and I'm gonna run around yelling about 3 times.
But I want you to know, if they lose, you might punch me or Kyle.
Okay.
Or both.
I mean, I've already almost done it several times, so.
That is true.
Wait, I'm just looking at this now. So Anthony and Ramsey went 5-0 with the Reds, Royals, and Marlins.
Yes, they did.
Exactly.
Wow. Yes, the Royals, who are literally the worst team in baseball.
Well, the 5 teams that I cannot pick are the Dodgers, Guardians, Orioles, A's, and Pirates. And you know what I'm doing? I'm taking the Blue Jays, and I'm taking them tonight.
Yes!
Oh, God!
I love it, Matt.
What a loser.
What do you mean?
What a loser.
What do you mean?
He just wants to feel good about himself.
No, because you can. I'm
going to make Kayla feel bad.
What was that?
No, I'm going to take the team that she's playing.
Well, because you're going to win, and then you can add to the victory lap. I'm thinking content here, man. Content, baby. I'm going to be so obnoxious.
I'm just taking the Dodgers on principle.
Yeah, okay.
I've not had them once.
You could have picked them, but you picked the Red
Kyle
Sox.
said he was going to take my Red Sox.
There's no way I was going to take the Red
Shut your
Sox.
mouth, Kyle.
Oh, oops. I just made a mistake. The Dodgers are playing the Marlins this week.
Well,
oh, yeah. Bad.
All right, Kayla, your second pick.
All right. I'm going with the Pirates.
Less enthusiastic about that
one.
one.
It's okay. They play the Cardinals this weekend. Whew, I'm fine.
Let's see. I will take. You know what? I haven't had the Yankees for a while. I will take the Yankees.
Okay.
Kyle, your third pick? Your third pick?
Oh, sorry.
Again.
Kyle's daydreaming about his trophy.
He's just holding his trophy.
Well, I'm going to pick a Thursday team now. That way I make sure I have somebody.
Oh, God.
And I'm going to take the Athletics at Sutter Health Park.
No, that's what I wanted.
Don't you disrespect them.
Against the Royals.
Dang it.
All right. Kayla, your third pick.
The drum. I'm going to go with... Oh, wait. Let me check this, though. Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Mariners. My Mariners. They're playing the Twins.
Go ahead. You're going to have them.
That's good.
You're acting like they haven't been playing better lately.
Stinky. No, actually, Cal Raleigh's been.
They've been playing better.
You can thank the A's for getting Cal Raleigh going. He hit 3 home runs in 3 straight
I ain't
games.
giving you any credit.
I didn't say me. Yes, the A's. I will take Kyle's Padres
Ooh.
with my third pick.
I will take whoever's playing the White Sox this week. I haven't seen who it is, but I'm going to play this random game again, and it is the Angels?
Yep.
Oh, dang it.
All right, Kayla, your fourth pick.
Give me them Braves.
Are we still doing that?
I mean, sorry, they do it. And
Yeah, but I don't
by
know.
the way, they're 20-9.
They're killing it. They are playing well. You know what? I'll take the Cubbies. Why not?
All right.
Cubs are playing well. Kyle?
I will take. I need a team tonight. I can't take the Yankees, right? They already were picked last week.
Correct.
I will take Cleveland Guardians.
All right.
No one taking the Mets?
Why would we take the Mets?
You took the Red Sox.
Yeah, but they got an interim coach manager boost.
All right,
Well, by the time the week ends, maybe the Mets will.
Oh, God. I want the Giants.
You want the Giants? Okay.
Give me them Giants.
You got the Giants.
Don't it in the Giants.
What is that accent?
I don't know.
My last pick is the Reds.
All right.
And Kyle, your last pick.
I will go with.
Can you do the Marlins?
No, I picked them last week. Or he didn't pick them.
Oh,
They picked them for me. I will take. Oh, you know what? I will take the Chicago Cubs.
I already took them.
I will take. Oh, how about the Arizona Diamondbacks?
Yep, you can take them.
Go for it.
Kayla's upset.
They're
Kayla
on a winning
I
streak.
used to cover them. I actually like it.
Kayla doesn't like losing. All right, so for today, you already know what Kayla and I are doing. I'm taking the Blue Jays over the Red Sox. Kayla's taking the Red Sox over the Blue Jays. Friendships will be impacted tomorrow. Kyle?
I'll take the Guardians today.
Against?
Tampa Bay.
Guardians
probably
versus
about to
the
get
Rays. Guardians, by the way, will be in Sacramento later this week. The Guardians taking on the A's for their weekend series. Kyle is the defending champ. He's a 2-time champ. I'm a 2-time champ. Kayla has won a championship as well. She's looking for the 2-time opportunity. And now it is time to welcome in the Drive Guys. We got Whitey Gleason. We got Alan Stiles. They join us next here on Sactown Sports.
Fernando Mendoza is officially a Raider. Under mentors like Kirk Cousins and Tom Brady, will the former Indiana star shine in Clint Kubiak's West Coast offense? How close are the silver and black to keeping pace in the AFC West? Your local sports leader, Sactown Sports 1140.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown, 411 16th Street, and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
If your business depends on reliable vehicles, it's time to upgrade your fleet at myelkgrovechevrolet.com. We specialize in fleet pricing, bulk discounts, and fast approvals, so your team stays on the road and on the job. From work trucks and vans to fuel-efficient sedans and SUVs, we have the inventory, service, and financing to keep your business moving. Call or visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com today and ask about exclusive fleet savings. myelkgrovechevrolet.com. Driving business forward. Attention Roseville residents, this just in. Keeping your vehicle well-maintained doesn't just protect your car, it also protects your local waterways. This May, bring your used oil filter to a participating AutoZone location and receive a free new filter. Available every weekend in May. Recycle your used oil and filter the right way. For details and tips on proper oil and filter replacement, visit roseville.ca.us/oil. Funded in part by Cal Recycle. Limit 1 per customer. Maximum value is $9.99. Roseville residents only. Proof of residency is required at participating locations only.
Did you try my Colombian tamales? They're delicious.
Yes, but the Mexican tamales I brought are better.
Colombian tamales wrapped in plantain leaves are unmatched, you know.
But the Mexican tamales wrapped in corn husks are the authentic ones.
At least we can agree that they taste better with Pepsi.
Without a doubt. Can you pass me a straw?
You mean a pitillo?
Tamales deserve Pepsi.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Go ahead, Alan. You know?
I'm sorry?
Got that same... I just wondered if you had the same energy after. Did you see how De'Aaron Fox played in game? I was just curious.
That was a nice little game.
A nice little game.
A nice little cute game.
Yeah, pretty cute.
Yeah, 60 mil, good once every 5 games. Yeah.
I don't think you should judge somebody on one game.
I agree.
And I think
you know what?
said that.
Yeah, I think you said that.
You know what? I agree.
You know?
I agree. I'm the problem.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, he had a nice little cute game. Good for him, you know?
Where was your social post?
I knew it.
I was running around. I was busy.
Had time to post about Mike Brown, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Mike's my guy.
Yeah.
You know, his grandson and my daughter, they were hanging out at a museum. My mom actually met Mike Brown. So I got love for Mike Brown. You know, De'Aaron Fox, like I said, if we got to come in and have a good show once a week, and all the rest were stinkers.
That's crazy.
I mean, that'd be great.
What do you mean all the rest?
That'd be great. Or somewhere average, slightly below average.
And for that, you got a maximum deal.
And I get a max deal. Hey, Alan, we're going to pay you more to be worse. That'd be great. I love it.
Crazy.
I love it.
I knew he was going to do this. I told
you
Whitey.
started it.
No, I told you Whitey.
I told Whitey.
I told you.
No, and I told Whitey.
But I told Whitey to tell you.
I told Whitey.
You said, when De'Aaron has a good game, I'll show him love.
No, yeah. I'm showing him love.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're being stinky.
Hold on. Let me show De'Aaron some love.
Oh, no, please don't.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Look, man.
Here we go.
You know, we got to watch this dude from Kentucky come out to the 916.
Some of us did.
What voice is this?
Come out to the 916, be an all-star, be all-NBA, lead this team to the playoffs, and things didn't work out. Now, he's in the Riverwalk. He's in San Antonio.
What voice is this?
And the ability for him to show up when Wembanyama was also on the floor was impressive.
Relax.
It was very impressive. Now,
relax.
I would have liked to see it when Wembanyama wasn't playing.
Oh, what about defending the opposing team's best player? Did you see that part?
I'm you know, when you got the depoy on your team, I think that it helps a lot.
Oh,
I have a question for you, Alan.
But I give him all the love in the world.
It doesn't sound like it.
I want to give De'Aaron Fox,
it doesn't sound like
my guy, my man, all the love in the world for showing up for one game.
Isn't 28 points pretty good for the fourth best player on a team?
That's crazy.
It's just a question.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You know, if you're getting that type of production from your 7-hitter, I think that's incredible.
That's crazy.
No, shout out De'Aaron Fox.
See, I knew it.
Hey, Whitey, go. Shout out the D Train. Choo choo. We got the D Train. Shout out the D Train coming through.
What's the,
I mean that. That.
There we go.
There you go. D Train's rolling.
How many lips have touched that?
Not mine. That series
Mostly
is
Dave's.
over. That series is cooked. We can book that one now.
Hey, your guy Denny got a little irritated.
Yeah, I'm glad. Good.
Because Fox clamped him up.
Clamped him up. He did. He did. Max player doing Max things. Now do it again and again.
You just said that for one game, and you're obviously being facetious here.
Oh.
But you also dragged him for one game.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Well, no, I've been dragging him all
not
season.
to do that.
I've been dragging him all season. So yeah, don't get it twisted.
You got love for Fox.
I got love for
You
him
got
though.
love of him.
And then, it's one of those things where I want to make people better.
Were you dragging him when Wemby wasn't playing for the first half of the season and he was leading the team in scoring? Were you dragging him when he was averaging 25 points per game,
Yeah, but he
6
did that.
rebounds?
No, he did that.
Yeah,
this is the same thing that we have the same conversation with Brock Purdy. I can't wait. We had an electric Brock Purdy conversation on Friday, and we got more Niners coming up. But this is what I want to say.
I missed this.
This is the whole conversation when it comes to De'Aaron Fox at the end of the day.
Yep.
My question to you is we can go back and forth. And it's the same thing with Brock Purdy. Oh, EPA. I like Brock and I like Purdy. Oh, EPA, efficiency, the best processor. He's got the Intel processor. That's all fine and good. How good is De'Aaron Fox? What is he, top 20, top 15?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. Who is he? Tell me the best player De'Aaron Fox is better than. You don't have to right now. I'm putting you on the spot. But that's what I want to know.
Today?
Because he had a good game. And homie, that's great.
Didn't have a great game Friday, Alan.
You know what? I wasn't even paying attention because they won.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
You know what he was doing?
It's about winning.
He was distributing to his fellow guards, Stephon Castle and John Harper.
What do you have? 6 assists?
Something like that.
I
actually don't remember off the top of my head.
Give it to the young bucks coming up. Then De'Aaron, he's a good player. I don't know what to do with him. He's overpaid. And that's just what it is.
That's not his fault.
He's the second best player
Why is it
in the
his fault?
series. It's Wemby and him.
Is he?
Yeah.
So wait a second. He's over. I don't like that argument ever.
Which one?
Oh, he's overpaid. He didn't pay himself.
Yes, I can. I can hear you, Kyle. I'm not saying that he paid himself. That doesn't mean he's not overpaid.
But when that's used in an argument, sometimes it gets me.
But what is the risk for the Spurs? They're paying him that amount of money. That's fine, but they gave up.
Nobody
nothing
is
to give
trading
him.
for that. Nobody is trading for De'Aaron at 60 mil.
I don't think they have a problem with that.
Okay, well that's the whole thing. You were going to run the 3 guard.
They don't have to worry about paying Dylan Harper or Stephon Castle until De'Aaron's off the books.
I think there's got to be some overlap.
There might be a year of
with
overlap.
at least Stephon Castle.
Might be a little bit of overlap.
Yeah, look.
Alan, was there ever a team that wanted to trade De'Aaron Fox that couldn't trade him because he was making too much money? Did that ever happen?
Yes.
What specifically are you talking about?
When they had to trade Halliburton.
The first
nobody
go
wanted
around.
De'Aaron Fox.
Well, it's not that nobody wanted De'Aaron Fox. They couldn't get what they wanted for De'Aaron
but
Fox.
That's
compared
the
to
value,
Tyrese Halliburton.
That's the value.
We're talking about a 20-year-old full contract.
Matt, he can
That's
shut.
not his
He
fault.
can shut up people like me, and he's starting to do it. I just want to see consistency. It's like my Giants. They're 7-3. Their last 10 games. They're still under 500. So I can't, tap dance in here and say, hey, the Giants are back. They're still 2 games
But
under
they're
500.
top 5 brand in the MLB.
But they are. But that's
But you're not tap dancing.
And I've never seen anybody wear De'Aaron Fox shoes.
Well, that's funny.
So I don't know what type of brand.
I'm just asking.
Do you own De'Aaron Fox shoes?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm just asking for consistency from you.
It is consistency.
Because you said you're going to give him some love.
I did give him love.
I don't think you did.
I did give him love. What do you want me to say? It was a good little game.
It just gets awful quiet on social media.
I sent out one tweet about, I talked more about De'Aaron on these airwaves than on X, on Twitter. De'Aaron, I got a whole brand on X and on Twitter.
I just saw crickets.
He's not that high. What do you want me to say? Good win. Wemby's back. Everybody tough when they up. We didn't get to see him without young Wemby. But It's
had a
okay.
good game. He shot the ball really well.
He shot the ball really well. He cooked.
That's the whole thing with
He
him.
cooked.
In a clutch time.
He's the clutch player of the year 4 years ago. The OG. You know,
No one's won that award twice.
My kid was 2 months old the last time. Actually, 2 days old when De'Aaron was clutch player of the year. So it's nice to see him turn back the clock and dip back on into that clutch DNA that he has. I loved it. I had chills watching him.
See, but this is what I'm talking about, Kayla. And I know Alan's doing a bit.
I'm not.
But this is what I'm talking about here. It's because we'll overreact to one game.
Right.
But then when we go back on the other side of things, it ain't cool. We don't do that.
No.
So that's fine.
What are you talking about? I'm showing him love.
No, this would never been brought up, any love, unless Matt was the one who brought it on.
We ain't talking about De'Aaron Fox today.
Well, no. This is your crosstalk. I'm not going to walk in here and, tell you what to talk about. You opened the door. You wanted to start with it.
I just wanted to know if you were going to keep the same energy.
I am. Yo, D-Train. And you balled, man. You put on for the Riverwalk. He did that.
He deserves 28.
He deserves 28.
Yeah.
You know what? And that's how we're talking about De'Aaron today. The next 4 hours, the D-Train's rolling. Scrap the rundown, Whitey. Rip it up like Kyle Draper. We don't need no rundown. Brendan, stay home, Brendan. We're supposed to have Brendan at 3. Brendan, stay home. We got to talk about De'Aaron Fox's game performance. We got to talk about it.
By the way, Ben in the chat, I don't know if you get the whole conversation. We're not telling him to praise De'Aaron Fox just to praise him. We're saying that as much as he was on De'Aaron Fox for the last performance, or 2 performances above that he pushed all his hate on him.
I don't like the H word. I prefer not to use that.
He just ignores the fact that he actually came
sat
out
down. What did I ignore?
That's what we're arguing about.
I am wearing this like a man. I am.
I was just waiting for the tweet.
Why do I have to tweet about it?
Because you seem to have to tweet when he doesn't play well.
There we go.
I sent one tweet.
And I was waiting for the one tweet back.
Matt, the game ended. First of all, don't text and drive. I'm in the car when the game ended. Get home, I got a dirty diaper looking at me, and it just slipped my mind.
Dirty diaper.
I got dirty diaper.
It's a dirty diaper.
You know what?
Priorities, that's good.
You know what?
Family man.
Like I said, on these airwaves, Kyle Ledbetter back in the building. We love to see him. Like I said, I got Mexico this week, Guadalajara. And
got to get away.
And I can't wait.
Second vacation.
I can't wait to be down I can't wait to be down in Mexico. I'm going to tell people, hey, did you see De'Aaron's performance?
No,
that's what I'm going to be telling them.
He's going to be down in Mexico, and De'Aaron's going to have 18 points, and he's going to tweet about it because he'll have time then. You'll have time then.
Matt, I didn't tweet about the game that they won, right? The game without Wemby. I didn't tweet hating on De'Aaron?
No, you just tweeted hating on him after the game that he didn't
That
play
was
the
a
fourth
week
quarter.
ago.
Where's the tweet after last night? Oh, the other game.
Look,
where is it?
I don't think about De'Aaron like that.
You didn't tweet about Mike after his win, but you had time to tweet about him.
Mike's a bigger story.
Well, at least we're not doing about Keon Ellis
Mike's
right
a
now.
bigger story.
Ooh, Keon's a good one.
I
Let's
don't
talk
even
about
want
Keon.
to start with the next
Kyle's
player
saying we got to get out of here, man.
I cannot wait for in all seriousness, I cannot
goodness.
wait for the drive, guys. Today, they got plenty to talk about. Alan did a fantastic job as the MC of the River Cats. I mean that genuinely. It was a lot of fun to see him in his element. Bennett! Put the ball, Bennett! Coming up next.